Alright. Let's say we get into it, shall we? Hello, y'all. We're back. It's time. More of this crazy lady. And the adorable android daughter that's much more important than anything. And also the toxic Yuri, also important. All very important. But it's time for episode 2 of The Devil. No idea what's gonna happen. High roller. No, I'm good. I'm fine. Also, stop resetting the goddamn volume. Blah, 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 blah. High roller mode. No, I'm good. I'm fine with the standard, thank you. I am, in fact, a perfectionist. Fuck you. Disable tutorials? Do we need tutorials at this point? I feel like we know what we're doing. This is episode 2. I think we're fine. First question's an easy one. Who's your senator? That thing's piece of shit still trying to lie to our faces. Mathings is our senator, man. What, still? Hey, wake up! From the top, I guess. Ugh. What is your name? Oh god, there's torture going on. I wasn't expecting torture immediately. Ikari. Yeah. What year is it? 2086. Oh, what did he say last time? 2087? 2027? Maybe this stuff's finally working. Hey, that's next year. Dog does know how to shake. You can go again in the head. One thing I asked. Anywhere but the head. Not my fault it's got a punchable face. So we calibrated yet or what? No. We're as close as we're gonna get with equipment this old. Oh god. Okay. I think we're dealing with an android. Or, more likely, a real-ass AI. Want to get to real questions, or does it need more softening up? I just said I won't soften him up in the head. How about it? Still with us, Hound? Gonna feel a migraine hit you like a tram in a few seconds. Do me a favor and hold on to the pain. Let go, and the barbitasine will drop you like an anchor. Don't want you a vegetable. Never mind, not an android, right? Yeah, that's the spirit. Knew you were a fighter. Question 1. Do you know why you're here? No. Because you were too spooked to do this over a line? I'm always the right amount of spooked, Red. When I tell you there's heat, I mean it. I know, and I always listen. See, holy shit, we're wearing new clothes. Morgan, I have to say, Morgan, I have to say, kind of digging the outfit. Looks fucking good. I love, like, the ponytail. Everything good. To be fair, it's my colors, so I have to think it's good. I do the red and black well. See? Breathable layers. God damn it. You laughed. Doesn't mean I can see the point. You're lighter. You memorized the map? Kept it pretty vague, but yeah, I think... Is this a story of her past? I think I got the gist of it. Okay, something tells me that this is a flashback. Something about this Morgan feels younger. You're that worried about a paper trail. Proactive analytics just want a state contract for new trolling algorithms that can de-anon an entire city box of crumbs in less than an hour. Didn't you read the financial section today? I'm more of a Sudoku gal. We can't all be as well read as Renard Diamani. I also enjoy Sudoku, although I have not played in a long time. I'm sending you the links. Read them. And the rest of the news, too. Proposition 492 is going to be on the ballot this year. shouldn't vote on it blindly. For a guy who makes the majority of his living operating outside the law, you sure take your civic duties seriously. Information brokering isn't illegal. What people choose to do with my advice. Do you declare the income for it on your taxes? Sorry, I promise to take a look at what you sent over. With elections coming up, a number of measures related to infrastructure, public works, and funding for city programs will be on the ballot soon. Read on to get a petition for City Council to commission cost analysis of public schooling. For the last several decades, all education has been handled through private institutions. Blah! Typically associated with one or more corporate benefactors. Super blah! No. Wrong. Ugh. While it's to ease the expense of childcare and pre-university education for many families, some citizens regularly voice concern over children being treated as customers first and students second. There are several schools throughout the city that accept students at no cost to their parents, but these are relying on government subsidies, introducing the potential for waste and corruption, and are generally seen as subpar environments for learning. If enough voters say aye to this petition, City Council will commission a study to evaluate the cost and feasibility of reintroducing direct public schooling to the city. So that's a good thing? I think that's a good thing. We'll commission a study to... They want to reintroduce public... I mean... Hard to say, just because I feel like I'm missing something here, but funding of Atlas Pillar rejuvenation projects. Voting aye will direct Council to fund the renovation and reinforcement of multiple Atlas pillars around the lower wards, paid for by a % increase in sales tax within city limits. They are points for the city's canopy super infrastructure and house all the largest public transit elevators. Measures generally be favorably by representatives from the lower wards that the necessary construction will be disruptive, that guarantees easing of zoning restrictions around the pillars is vital to reducing unemployment in the target regions. North of the park have been touted as successful, and studies have shown poverty is down and citizens, good? Representing uptown districts have voted skepticism about the economic benefits, but none have argued against the architectural reality. Yeah, I feel like this one shouldn't be a proposition. You don't really have a choice. Hi, Monica. Thank you for the alert. Thanks for hanging out. But none have argued against the architectural... which exactly of the city's older Atlas pillars will be targeted for this rejuvenation if it's closed. Past experience has shown that property values in the lower wards can either skyrocket or even drop into the negative based on which pillars are rejuvenated. This is rough. Without actually living in the city, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Renaming Atlas Pillars to honor local community figures. The Pillars of the Community Project, Prop 4936, rename the Atlas Pillars, like the Greek Titan Atlas who holds up the sky, after local leaders and national figures placed in the current system where pillars are given alphanumerical designations. Few members of City Council have spoken explicitly for or against the measure. Repulsor general support. Internal name, but leaked blueprints and contractors spread the moniker and it has become rooted itself. An ominous ring to it. I don't know, considering that Atlas is like, the sky will never hit the earth because of him, Atlas sounds good. I'm fine. Victims of acid, what the fuck do you mean acid snow? Well, acid rain is a very real problem, so. Permanently in the forefront of public conscience following the Greyfall documentary. Previously underreported on, while the industrial accident did not create snow and did not affect acid to the atmosphere. The film's eyewitness accounts of the scarring children received that early morning nearly 2 decades ago, playing what they thought was an unseasonable snowfall, spurred public outcry. The city will commission a full investigation into the victims of the incident, including assessment of damages for what could one day be a public fund for medical treatment. Argue that after 20 years, few of the victims will still be residents of the city, assuming they've been found at all. 15 years ago, sufficient compensation, though as one of the conditions of that settlement, Genji did not admit any fault for wrong ship. Fuck you! How can it be this calm? Sounds like this hasn't come around, well, ever. Frankly, I'm still surprised they were willing to put up the funds it took to commission this thing. What do you think changed? Nothing ever changes in the lower wards. Is what I would say if I was feeling dramatic. Heartbreak made organized crime. Okay, no, this is common. This is modern. She looks younger, but this is just, I think it's just how she's doing her hair. Look like a bunch of cowards hiding under rocks. Is what I would say if I was feeling comedic. Don't joke about heartbreak before sending a woman off into the lower wards by herself. Cause you're such a delicate flower in need of protection. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize her hair was that long because of the way she always has it tied up. How about you start feeling analytic and give me your real answer? Fine. In my humble opinion, the Rust made the first move. Demand for their products has gone up, so they set to work with the syringes and cleavers and vans, mobile chop shops hunting for product to fill the supply gap. I'm gonna lower the audio just a bit more. Right there. Still feels a tad loud. There, whatever. Supply gap. You can't spit without landing on a Vitruvian clinic. How's the biggest it's ever been? What mods aren't being printed to demand? It's replacement parts, not the mods that are at the Rust harvest. Vitruvian How and all the others aren't interested in helping you fix a faulty pump. They just want to sell you a whole new model. The Rust might not always be pretty to look at, but even law-abiding citizens will gladly swallow their distaste for a discount that steep. A lot of modders are veterans, not easy prey. Correct, hence the Rust stockpiling weapons. In response, the Blue Blood sensing escalation. But that's just my hypothesis. Having a pull into an alley and wake up missing a kidney will call it a formal theory. Rust, the criminal organization, domestic It's more accurately describes a loose collection of smaller gangs and racketeering operations. Ran to the state and law enforcement to address several unrest, meant that small to medium-sized criminals could not survive on their own. What are more most respective racketeering? That classified gang activity as terrorism. Hitting a little too close to home there, aren't you, pal? For the rest has evolved since it's chaotic, blah blah. The spirit lives on. Law enforcement officials disagree on whether the Rust meets the definition of a criminal organization. Some about has the Rusters merely as a shadow, seem to make smaller gangs patterns of violence seem like well-organized planning. Historically, the Rust has been associated with elevated levels of gang violence, fierce rotation. The state alleged that Harmonique had, on numerous occasions, employed the Rust as a kind of extra-legal military... Okay, it's a gang, got it. It's not like we're talking about a weapon of mass destruction. What makes the Blues think they can win a gang war with it? Maybe they found the right soldier to wield it. The idea lingers in the air for a moment as I gaze out the window. Windows and neon and advertisements galore float up past us like bubbles of air as we make our descent. Down into our beautiful city's scenic lower wards. How's this part go again? Through me, the way to the city of woe. Through me, the way to eternal pain. Through me, the way among the lost. Inferno, Canto 3. Welcome to the underworld, Dante. Sometimes hot, sometimes misty, sometimes choking with poison. Always dark. Is that the official forecast? More accurate than whatever's on your phone. Between the skyscrapers, the generators, the turbines, and the canopy, every city block's got its own climate down here. 9 circles of fresh hell. If you get this reference, say something. Don't make you feel crazy for 5 minutes so you can feel smart for 5 seconds. The smog of the lower wards lingers on your skin long after you make the climb back out. This place clings to you. Unwanted, cloying attachment. But there's an honesty to all human interaction down here that makes it trivial for me to navigate. And it's got a nightlife rife with opportunities for someone with my particular interest. Sorry I couldn't get you anything else to work with. It was short notice. I know better than to bet against you by now, Red. But still, it's sweet of you to worry. But this is a surefire thing. Spoken like a true addict. I mean it. I'm here for business, not pleasure. I don't plan on leaving anything to chance. Morgan, what are we doing down in the lower wards? You said business, not pleasure, so this feels like we're not here to do a murder. But also, we might be here to do a murder. Hard to say. And if we are here to do a murder, who are we murdering? Can it be someone that actually deserves it this time? Avoid the populated streets. Turn away from brightly lit spots. Follow the trail of graffiti and broken cameras, past food stands and steam vents, down the rabbit hole. Sounds more complicated than it actually is in practice. It's easy to end up on the wrong side of town, as long as you're trying to. Reynard's map narrowed the search a lot more than I expected, but I'll be on my own from here on out. It's gotta be one of these 3 buildings. Let's go over what I know. I'm looking for a base of operations for a mere mid-tier kind of pod, rougher than storefronts, not as fortified as a headquarters. A location that makes customers feel safe, not trapped. Of course, if I just start knocking on doors, they'll probably find me, with weapons drawn. So if I want to be smart about this, I better use all my senses. Alright then, I guess we'll start by looking. The windows are all dark, like no one's home, but they're all shut, too, so it could be that they're just tinted. Alley's clear. Fire escape's still there, for the most part. Could pass for an alternate exit, if need be. And that door looks sturdy enough to bounce a bullet off. Someone's been renovating. Well, this place looks like shit. Looks more like a haunt, just dry enough for users to pass out in than anything else. It's pretty inconspicuous, but a dealer of the level I'm looking for would be considered a made man. Respectable. I doubt they'd be willing to have to step over trash constantly just to keep a low profile. A bit cleaner than the other buildings around here. Could be someone spending money on upkeep. Or maybe this one's just been torn down and rebuilt the least. There are a couple bodies lingering around outside it. I don't exactly have that organized criminal associate edge. Organized criminal associate is a label most likely used for within individuals who are members of criminal organizations. Orcs, or more commonly, orcas. Law enforcement for... Guess that tracks. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of pods will pay civilians good money just to keep their eyes open. It's certainly dark, but there's a camera out front. And it's not broken. Overall, it's probably just some mechanic garage that shuts down the power to save money at night. Okay, might as well pull the trigger. Dingy, but not a shithole. Some secure features, but the paint's not too shiny. Goldilocks takes it, and this is my best bet. But why do I feel like I'm being watched? Because we probably are. Not just from the stream, but, you know, considering where we are and the world we live in, of course we are. That's a lot of eyes. Who are you? Hey! Great acting. Are you supposed to be the lookout? Red Hood. What you say? People come down here to be anonymous, or the closest thing to it in the modern day. It's considered poor etiquette to stare at anyone for more than a moment. It's a faux pas to make an effort to remember someone. Commenting on another's dress isn't a slap in the face, but it is odd. Go away? At least they can take the direction. Whatever. A lookout being around just confirms that I picked the right building. Time to try the door. What'll make them open up? No answer. So I've tried knocking on a pattern. Shave and a haircut. No, that'd be silly. I have money. Actually, I have a dark card. That should have provoked a reaction. A grunt, footsteps, something. I place my hand against the door absent-mindedly, ready to move to plan B, and I feel movement. Locks being checked. Perhaps a doorknob palmed. Anxiety and curiosity pit against one another by an onlooking greed. How do you enter a closed room? First, you try pushing. When that doesn't work, naturally you... Forget it. I'll find some other... No need for master keys or any other trickery. If you know what you're doing, doors will open for you. Like magic. The door is not the only thing that's been reinforced around here. This apartment building, motel, whatever it used to be, someone's made a lot of effort to file it down. Hallways blocked off with chicken wire and stripped furniture. Access panels ripped out, doors welded shut. They took a maze and ground it down into a one-way street. Or maybe a shooting gallery. With blaring musical accompaniment. Don't get any ideas. Got no vacancy. And here I thought I'd found my dream home, Mr. Call me Trey. Too bad, we're closed this month. Sung Min Trey Trench. Occupation, freelancer. Likes vending machines, skate parts, and ice chips. Doesn't like rich kid. Yeah, that's fair. Loitering, 3 arrests, 0 convictions. Larceny, 2 arrests, 1 conviction. Truancy, no incidents on record. That seems like a lie. Wait, you're serious? You rent these out? Of course we do. This is a business. Right, and you, see a lot of demand? This is the lower wards, bitch. He sighs the word without emphasis, like a subconscious honorific. Never mind, I think I read that wrong then. Hold on. That's the lower wards, bitch. That's better. I'm not honored, but I can't find it in myself to be offended either. Tons of stray ducks who'll pay top for a sight to lay low a night or two. I can see why. This is the hallway. The rooms are clean. Sure. Look, the doors are heavy, the locks are all physical, and it's quiet. So this is a safe house for rent. Safe rooms for rent. But like I said, we're not open for business right now. Curious. Come on, up the stairs already. And no mask when we get up there. And curiouser. A good mask is like a good pair of boots in the lower wards. Keeps you clean, keeps you moving, makes your journey a dozen times more comfortable. And if you leave the house barefoot, you can expect to bring back something unsavory attached to you. It's not odd for him to be barefaced, but demanding that I not wear mine is... Seriously, stuff in your pocket now. Forgot I was wearing it. Why so nervous, though? I ain't nervous. Nothing to worry about, then. Yeah, but you need to lose those gloves, too. So that's their game. This isn't a power move, it's insurance. If this place ever gets busted, evidence of my visit will be all over the place. Ah! Hi, Bites, thank you for the junk. They're giving their customers extra incentive to make sure this shithole remains a hidden gem. A reasonable idea on their part, but it doesn't change my answer. That's not happening. Bitch. Whatever. Have fun explaining to the boss why you can't follow basic instructions. That does sound fun! Watch it. You're a guest here. A guest? I'm a paying customer. And if you try to get me to remove any more articles of clothing, I'm leaving a scathing review. You haven't paid yet. Come on. Right behind you. Morgan, I have so many questions. Why are we here? What are we doing? And who's going to die? Who is already dead and or going to die soon? Through here? Hey, look at the door. Ah? Howdy! How'd you find her? It must have fallen out of the canopy like ripe as shit fruit. Cause she didn't fall out of the damn sky, that means Trey opened the door for her. Right, Trey? Tanks, come on, Handyman. Parkour, spray paint, stainless steel. Just like spear cans, water stains. Assault, grand theft. Decent amount of incarceration. How hard is it to not open a goddamn door? Well, she has. Shut up. The others aren't fazed by his volume. This is normal, the big guy's always like this. But his outburst is giving me a moment to take in the scenic view. Brings a tear to my eye. You. Me? Who else? Hit that. A cigarette? It's laced with drugs. Or don't. I love an excuse to kick your ass back down those stairs. I think I'm a cop. They think I'm a cop, and cops can't use drugs when undercover. I quote them the exact law that invalidates this legal defense, but I gather that won't assuage their concerns. Well, what's it gonna be? That was in your mouth, man. What? Sorry, it's not that you're bad looking, it's just... Trey! Who the hell is this red bitch? You trying to jinx us? She's a customer. I know she's a customer. We get customers every other day of the goddamn year. Why'd you have to bring her in here tonight? There we go. This is it. I found the place. Well, Creek, she's got... Look at me! Don't talk to Creek. Talk to me. She's got a dart card. Nope. I ran this euro downstairs. Scanner got hot like a handworm trying to crunch it, so it's legit, right? Dart card, huh? Case dismissed due to lack of evidence and case dismissed due to witness recanting. Woof, terrifying. I nod. Or not start playing a little more conservatively once you know the stakes. Whatever the specifics of their leadership structure, they're all looking to this Creek right now. But I don't know his rhythm yet, so I can't exactly match it. For the moment, silence is golden. Yeah, but tonight, Creek, all the other shit we're expected to shovel. Hey, shouldn't make talk like that in front of the customer. Customer. You think the word was old toothpaste the way he spit it out? Translation, outsider. Thanks, yeah, Miller, I know. Tradesman. Vandalism, extortion. Apparently no littering. Good for you. All the more reason to tell this bitch to get slagged. Look, she's here now, so why not take her money? You know what? I got a better idea. Is that my head? Applied directly to the forehead. That's pretty funny. The loud one, Tanks, is pressing a barrel directly into my forehead. Why not take her for all she's got? The metal feels cool on my skin. Reminds me of a stethoscope. Breathe in, and try not to sigh at the theatrics. Instead, I make eye contact with Creek. Hey now, you can put that away. He reholstered his firearm, not so much as a click of the tongue. Mid-tears, like I thought. They've got something approaching discipline. Mind the safety. Get screwed. So, we good? We're good. We are good, right, Creek? Threading a thin needle, lady. A lot of moving parts beneath the surface here. Give me a minute to clear my schedule for you. Make yourself at home in the meantime. Just don't hover, yeah? Course. You won't even notice I'm here. I say, touching everything. You doing inventory over here? Ouch. Must have caught you on the worst night of the quarter. Quarter? This ain't a meg operation, lady. I take our inventory daily. Torture. You gonna suggest we put it all down on a spreadsheet, get everyone to sign off every hour? Got a special name for anything with more than one signature on it. A cricket case. The combating racketeer, blah blah blah. Act allows for, okay, though much of the law is built off previous legislature, Act is distinct, blah blah blah. Criminal organization, corporation operating in violation of the law. Okay, blah blah blah. It's a law. There's a lot to read. He's corrupting the CRICO acronym a lot, but his risk assessment isn't misguided. Paperwork brings down more criminal organizations than guns ever will. Just ask Al Capone. Gave a half-decent accountant one thread to pull on, they can rip apart the mafia in less than a business day. Hey, what Creek say? Don't hover. It's only hovering if I'm bothering you. Am I bothering you? If you are bothering me, You know it. I do love the pester. That's pretty funny. Is there nothing to read around here? Did I interrupt a game? What's your poison? 5 card, full blind, Monaco rules. Are those games? We just screw around whenever we got to kill time, lady. You know your stuff. Never play around here? Now and then. Al, you go slumming for card games? Now and then. Seen you at a game before? Maybe up by the 30s? Sorry, it must have been some other redhead. Damn, thought I finally got my second chance at getting that beauty's contacts. You practice that one a lot? Practice it a little. How's it working? Keep practicing. The door is nearly as sturdy as the one out front, but a lot more slapped together. When was it originally? On a walk-in freezer or something? What? No. We had an agreement about hovering, yeah? Yeah. It's barred from this side. And if it's barred from this side, that means you don't want whatever's in there coming out on its own. Which means I have a feeling there's something a little bit more than just, you know, hunks of pig in there. What? Nothing. You're just kind of glaring at me. It's my I can talk. It's my job to glare at suspect bitches like you. Thanks, you're just superstitious. Though I wouldn't call it a superstition until it stops keeping you alive. I'm not. Did I pass a black cat on my way in or something? It's your clothes. Again? Didn't know your fine establishment had a dress code. It's not a code, it's just bad goddamn luck to wear red. Bad luck to see red, man. Same thing. Nah, you see the red hood, then you fear for your life. Cosplaying as her is weird, but it won't doom you. Great, it'll only doom us. I don't think I've heard this particular ghost story, boys. Really? You're blending in so well. The Red Rider Hood, the Shinigami, Grim Reaper of the lower wards? Spot her on a misty night, end up dead by morning light. Come on, Creek, don't start that shit when you don't even believe it. Don't have to believe it to have heard the rhyme. Never heard of the Red Rider Hood? Little girl in the fog in a big red raincoat? Misted in the crossfire of a shootout between pigs and robbers. Wanders the wards seeking revenge? No, never. Not even uptowners knew this stuff. And tell me you've never heard of the Cyberpunk or the Little Lord Next? Guess I don't have a good ear for this kind of thing. She could very well be lying. I do think, yeah, we've seen this one before. The Cyberpunk, the one who will free us from all the capitalistic blah, 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 blah. Or maybe you're just not as smart as you think you are. Says the grown man, sweating because of a ghost story. How about I take extra care not to walk under any ladders for the rest of the night and we call it even? Walk under any... Where would you even find it? Oh, did you mean step ladder? We're not doing this again! We're not... No, Miller, we're not doing this again! Now who's afraid? You look pale as split. Because for some reason, I just got the horrible feeling that I lost a bet. God damn it. They keep sucker punching me with the goddamn ladders. You good, buddy? Looking a little sweaty. Well, that's just because I was exercising before you showed up. Uh-huh. Bitch, you don't believe me? How do you think we defend what's ours down here? I assumed the gun I was acquainted with just now played a role. We can afford to break the bank on bullets. It's easy to buy a gun. Pulling the triggers, also easy. Like kissing it goodbye. It'll rat you out first chance it gets. An aversion to firearms would explain the relatively low fatalities for gang-related violence. The big names can afford to buy a new gun every week, but for everyone beneath them, it comes down to crowbars, clubs, knives, and mods. Well, I'm sure you all do very well in your fistfights. Fistfight is juvie. Sounds like recess shit. Sorry, fisticuffs? Laugh it up. First time you hear the sound a steel arm makes carving a skull in, you'll get exactly how we operate. Right, sorry. Alright, come here. Pull up a chair. Let me ask you something before we get started. What was your first job? Waitress. Waitress. You remember this feeling? 9 p.m. Diners filter out, doors close at 10. I'll start turning off the grills, taking out the trash, settling down. And some mouth breather comes in at 9:40 with big blink eyes, expecting you to find him a table? Yeah, asshole behavior. Not breaking any rules, can't arrest him, can't shoot the guy, even if you wanted to. So, related note, you're here to buy. Paying customer, happy to have you. Just read the room, okay? Sure. And no haggling, now what are you here for? Well, can't be honest about that. Time to build a story. This creek seems less high-strung than the others. He must have a few years and a couple promotions under his belt. He might be on the 3rd floor at the moment, but in spirit, he's still on the street, earning. Everyone above him is in more managerial positions. He's in between crowds, isolated, and he seemed entertained by my poke at the big guy. Putting that all together, I'm not actually here for myself. Truth is, I can't hear anything over that damn screen. I grab the remote sitting on the edge of the desk and turn off the screen. That's better. The hell you do that for? It was too loud. We like it loud. Screws up bugs and wires and cops. Are you a cop? Keeping up that volume could damage your ears. You'd end up yelling all the time. Relax, Tanks. Like I was saying, I'm actually here for someone else. My boss, to tell you the truth. That sucks. Does your regional manager want a made-to-order heart attack at his retirement party or something? You're not that far off. His son's turning 18, and he wants a party. An organic party. What's that supposed to mean? Hell if I know. But a coworker let slip that I smoked a few times in college. So boss goes and hands me his dark card, slaps me on the rear, and sends me down here. Told me to get everything his son needs for the best graduation ever. That's rough. Pretty lady like yourself shouldn't be stuck running errands at this hour. Not in this part of the city. It's not safe. Speaking of which, Miller, stand up, raise your hands. I oblige, but the lanky one keeps staring at me oddly, looking me up and down. It's not complimentary. He's searching for something. See, normally I would never be this poor of a host to such a nice customer, but boss is, right? Yeah. Might have been real micromanaging lately. It's kind of becoming a problem. So, we're taking a little more care around new faces. Tucked inside her jacket, around the left pocket. His eyes aren't modded. And I give it away with my body language. Something you want to share with the class? Forgot I had that, maybe? Yes, I have a knife on me. Should I have declared that on my papers? Would have been the polite thing to do, yeah. Sorry for the poor manners, but a pretty lady like me, this part of town, guess I was just being careful around new faces. Alright, you're letting her keep it? I got you here to protect us. Fine. I have to wonder, though. Why did a high-powered corporate mover shaker come in person? Why come to us? Why not go across the skywalk over to the nearest Icaria-owned dispensary? Cagey tonight, aren't we, boys? The hell are they so suspicious for? And who are the Icaria? The name sounds vaguely familiar, but, well, I can read between the lines. They're the competition. So if these blue bloods are being this cautious around a paying customer, I can't shame them over it. Blah, blah, blah. Blue bloods, they're just another organization. I mean, sure, everyone knows the Icaria have taken the lion's share of the city. I just didn't realize that they had a monopoly, too. Hey, get it straight. The Icaria won't be on top anymore once we... Never mind. Can we not do business? No one said that. So what'll it be? Well, I don't want any of these kids choking on their own foam. Even if it'd be funny to watch, I figured I'd just buy a bunch of downers, maybe a handful of uppers, but half of them get high off the atmosphere. Downers, huh? Got the new titration of lime. Lasts for hours. They can stir into their watered-down beers. Wait, new titration? No one's gonna shit themselves, are they? No. Not until the morning, at least. Alright, well, I can live with that. What have you got on the other end? Got plenty, as long as they don't mind hippos. Hypodermics. Feel like these baby shark types get nervous around needles. Got anything they can inhale? Well, got a lot of nerve. Fast bump, high plateau, and a smooth ride down. Our bestseller. Sounds great. Unfortunately, it's in high demand, so... Nirvana, drug. Showing for thoughts for metahexphenyl. Phenylyl. Metahexphenylyl. Blah blah blah. Recent months. Popularity. Relative obscurity. Illegal drug. Blah blah. Big high. Okay. Hallucinogenic. I get that he's selling me drugs, but does he really have to sell me drugs? Hey, it's not my card anyway. Charge it. Gladly. Typing away at his tablet like this, he almost looks white collar. It checks out, right? The serial's legit, so... Yeah, man, you already said that. It's encrypted, Trey. It's not meant to be a one-tap purchase. Dark card. The gold standard of untraceable fund transfer. Among the criminal and financial elites, anyway. Your average citizen wouldn't recognize it as anything special. It looks like any other credit or debit card. Only reason I recognize it is because they got flash all the time back in my apprenticeship. Mostly for drawing lines, but sometimes for purchasing. Hard to convert the funds back into cash, but if you want to buy or sell on the black market, you couldn't ask for better. So what the hell is going on? I'm dangling some very enticing bait here. An amenable mark, spending money that's not her own. They should be salivating over me. Instead, they're practically x-raying me. Why? Interesting decor. Finally, someone notices. It's nice, right? It's called Cherrywood. I did pay myself with a finish I imported. It is a nice piece of furniture, Craig, but I was referring to your paperweight. Oh, yeah, that. You like it? Sure. It has a certain rustic simplicity, although it's not exactly gleaming. Have you considered giving it a polish? That'd be a crime. Oh, polishing off the battle scars from a hard-won prize? Prize? It's not yours? Something I picked up on the job. A masculine voice, muffled, possibly gagged, and stifled, as if pained. Seems like I'm not their only guest tonight. What did I say? The bat was to keep something from coming out. Really wish you left the music on, lady. Sorry, you say something? I completely spaced out just now. Didn't hear a word you said. Okay, that's okay. I didn't say anything. Guess you aren't so stupid you can't even mind your own business. Speaking of my business, how are we looking? The card's still processing. Sorry about that. Guess it takes time to stake a wire through enough pinholes that even the almighty state can't track it. Takes power too, apparently. Battery's plummeting. Pfft, dark card. Almost more trouble than it's worth. Definitely didn't do its previous owner any good, before I palmed it off his corpse. Your boss must be a careful guy, delegating you to come down here with this. Yeah, maybe. Not very smart, though. He has no idea what any of this shit cost. If I treat myself after I finish here, it's not like he'd ever know the difference. Good on you, ripping off the bastard. Woman after my own heart. There it is. I just need 2 thumbs and a password for verification and we're golden. There a problem? Yeah, is there a problem? No, no problem. Sorry, it's just something I heard. And what's that? The Blue Buds have got something special in recently. Can't trust everything you hear out there, or read, or see. No, of course not. But is it true? A no mask? Like you said, you gotta be careful with storage of this. Come on, what could it even cost? A couple thousand? I wouldn't know. No art appraiser. But I do know that it's rare. A fun fact, no means talent, but I don't think that translation does it justice. Less than a dozen people on the planet who can make them. What's so special about it? I mean, them, if they exist, which they, don't. If you want a mask, you already got one on your chin, lady. State puts up cameras, we put on masks. State adds layered scans, we wear helmets. High tech climbs higher, low tech punches lower, back and forth up the escalators. But a no mask got tech that can't be answered. Scissors sharp enough to cut rock. Anti-facial recognition for fractalized active defense. Any camera, scanner, or ad that looks at the mask, they'll see a face. Within a face, within a face, within a face, until a fatal error. Forget hiding from cameras, searching for blind spots. With a no mask, you can just walk down the busiest street in the city. World-renowned form. Is it really just the classic old no mask? Strictly regulated by the Iamoto system, in which a single heir inherits all authority, mastery, and secret techniques. It made it difficult for the practice to spread and flourish during the 21st. The single static mask can convey sorrow, fury, joy, or terror by merely angling the head differently. And break every camera in half a kilometer. You know your stuff. Buyer beware. But if this mask could do half what you think it could, anyone who got their hands on it wouldn't part with it so easily. So how much? More than you can afford, that's for sure. I don't know about that. I've got pretty nice stock options. Maybe you do have the money. That's not the issue. Can't sell it. It's already been spoken for. End of discussion. Well, sure, you can't sell something that's been spoken for, but things get misplaced all the time. Delivery carrier, showing up at the wrong address, missing packages, ending up at the backs of storage facilities, merchandise falling off the back of the proverbial truck. You weren't sitting here on some errand. Shit. What is it? Take a long look, boys, because you may never get another chance. We're breathing the same air as a genuine consultant. She's some kind of mega meg spy? If I was, couldn't exactly come out and say, now could I? Oh shit. Is it really this easy? Yeah, that's real smart talk. I mean, one reason I shouldn't paint your brains onto the wall. Because I still haven't paid for my purchase. Definitely got the nerves of a consultant. I teach you that at some fancy uptown corpo school. Wasn't something we were born with. Something I was born with. Probably. But believe it or not, I'm glad we're having this conversation. Honesty always speeds up the negotiation. So in the spirit of cooperation, why don't you start being honest too? How's that? You don't want my money, traceable or otherwise. Only reason you entertain a customer while in the middle of whatever bottleneck you're keeping behind that door is because I have something rare that you desperately need. Don't assume desperation, or need. How about want? You want the dark card account itself, not whatever shitcoin currency it holds. And why is that? To steal from your bosses. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're the ones stealing from us. Yes, I'm sure you have very legitimate grounds for a wage theft suit, but I don't care. Whether it's for running away, skimming off the top, or just as insurance, you want a wallet they don't have eyes on. And since your tall friend hasn't missed me yet, it seems like you're willing to barter for it. So, the card for the mask. Not even close. The card plus 2/4 worth of my salary. That's nearly... Nah, sister, you don't have the cash for this purchase. It ain't the kind of thing you can get a loan from the bank for. I don't like it, but not cash then. Might as well try it. What about information instead? I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it would have to be one hell of a piece of intel. I could give you heartbreak. What'd you say? Funny. That is funny. Heartbreak, the most famous anarcho-terrorist in the country, at some mag's beck and call. Upgraded to anarcho-terrorist now. Ugh. You kill 6 people on a goddamn whim, and all of a sudden you're a goddamn terrorist. With a backing, no less. Lots of people were laughing very hard, having shorted the right stocks before each of his kills. Hold up. Seriously? No. Why do people buy this conspiracy shit so easily? I don't get the joke. Why would we want heartbreak? To learn from him? Make an example of him? Hire him. You Blue Bloods have been fighting the Rust, the Ikaria, the State, and everyone who wants a peace for decades. Yet Heartbreak's gotten more notoriety than all of you combined in only a few months. There's really nothing you'd want to say to him, nothing you'd want to ask him. if he was sitting right in front of you? The following scene contains loud noises, flashes of light, depictions of violence and gore, and nope, just gonna be like, we're not. Oh, the bluff, I'll give you that. Thought it was worth a try. Sorry, just procrastinating, having to go back to my superiors empty-handed. Oh, it was good. Good effort. I mean, I'm still interested in the dark cards, just that mask of a death sentence, crafted specifically for one very special customer. I'm just the one given the honor of hanging on to it until, sounds like you got your own office politics to worry about. Getting pulled in every direction. I know the feeling. Oh, that was a bunch of drama for nothing. She gonna buy or what, Creek? Oh, I'm still buying. Not for some kid's party, obviously. Plan is, we're gonna spike the competition at the meet and greet that make the customer think that they're drooling idiots. The mask was always a long shot. I was just personally curious. Curiosity can get you into trouble down here at the bottom of the world. Don't worry. I like to think I know a thing or two about discretion. I can see that. Let's wrap this up then. Your password and your thumbs, please. Sure. I'll just take off my gloves here. Oh, yeah. I make a snap with my right hand as my left extends toward the desk. Viewer discretion. Wait. Hold on. Is this real? The following scene contains loud noises, flashes of light, depictions of violence and gore. Viewer discretion advised. I guess you've been warned? Real quick, before I forget, do you have a bag for all this? Yeah, I actually got a few in the drawer. The hell? Only needed to distract him for a second. Morgan? Morgan, what's with this look? Less than one heartbeat. I did tell him to mind the safety. The big one made a small noise as he looked down to see that his own gun had blown a fist-sized chunk out of his torso. Holy sh! He jumped up fast. I was expecting to blow his head off. From behind, a motion, a shape charging towards me. Spinning left, I draw my knife, exhale, and lower my shoulders. There. A loudly broadcast haymaker swinging in from his right. Bad instinct. He must have gotten used to those sparklers, making people flinch. I step in, and his bicep smacks dully into my shoulder as I place my knife directly into his carotid. He's gripping that knife with all the strength he has left. Oh, wait, is he really going to try to pull it out? Someone's been stabbed. What do? When applying first aid to a puncture wound, removing the foreign object is not recommended, as this can greatly increase the rate of blood loss. Another bad instinct. Oxygen cut off to the brain. Already losing vision. And dropped, with all the grace of a garbage bag hitting the bottom of the dumpster. So that just leaves... hasn't moved a muscle. Newest member, weakest in pack. Personally, I wouldn't have given the new guy guard duty, but hindsight's 20/20. The gun's double-barreled. 2 shots. Spent. And Miller still has my knife in a literal death grip. I'll have to improvise for this last one. What the hell? Why not? Oh, shit! Though, come to think of it, how do you use this thing? Aim for the bleachers, I guess. Oh, fuck! His due. Episode 2, His due. There it is. Woof. What a fucking start to an episode. Jesus Christ. Alright, I guess that answered. We came down here to do a murder. And we did 4 of them. Apparently got 3 centimeters into his neck. Must have hit a vertebra and stopped dead. Still got the job done after a few whacks, but, well, it was my first time with the sword. And I've never been very good at anything the first time. I've always needed lots of practice. Okay, the music should have deadened the sound of the gunfire. And that gun was heavily modified. If it somehow still has its tags, they can't possibly be functioning properly, so I've got a window of opportunity. First things first, gloves back on. Wow, someone's lively. Who the hell? Some kind of mob keeping him alive? A cruelty, under his circumstances. I could hear that slug tear his intestines apart. The pain alone should have knocked him out cold, yet his fingers are limp, his eyes sharp. Paralyzed. There are rules. I thought. Blood's pulling fast. You've got 4 minutes. 4 minutes? For what? Everything. You're no mega assassin. You're too talkative. Who sent you? Fox? Gray Lady? All that red? Should have. You the rust knew it's rabbit dog? Caribou? It's cute how you all give each other nicknames. You're civilian? Where's the mask? Go to hell. You just looked right at the desk drawer. I thought you said you played poker. I need your keys. A civilian thief? Theft is victimless. It's robbery when violence is involved. So you're just out of your goddamn mind. I'm the last person you'll ever talk to, Creek. Your choice, but do you really want to be rude? You seem like you can take it. The key clicks into the small safe, and I pull upon the door to reveal paperwork. Page after page of spreadsheets and diagrams and text, all printed in red. Is this important? So considerate. Nah, just throw it anywhere. Okay. I was joking! 3 minutes. Now, sarcasm will cost you time you don't have. There it is. A gleaming darkness at the back of the safe. So that's you. All this. All of us. For that? Just for that? I get asked that question a lot. Would you feel better if I had killed you for a different reason? If I had a good reason for blowing a hole in your stomach, would it have hurt any less? You still got more than 2 minutes. Plenty of time. I could spin up whatever fairy tale you'd like to put you to bed. I bring the mask to my face, and for a brief moment, the service starts to writhe. It is trying to adjust itself to me. Does it make sense, you wanting a mask so bad? If I was as hideous as you on the inside, I wouldn't want to go barefaced either. And a nerve, it must be the worst kind of feeling, being seen by someone you can't even hurt anymore. Well, I see you, Heartbreak. Yeah, big, bad, faceless Heartbreak. I'm just a dumbass punk, and even I could take you. Don't flatter yourself. It's not that you're particularly perceptive. Even I can make you out from. I just don't have anything to hide when a corpse is talking. First honest thing you've said. So what gives, HBK? You're clearly not an idealist. All the terrorism, rebellion theories, out the window. You go around killing because your daddy smack you around? Mommy not hug you enough? My father never laid a hand on me. My mother hugged me a sufficient amount. So what the hell's your excuse? I don't make excuses. Then what the hell's wrong with you? Less than a minute now. I could spend that time making up a diagnosis, if you'd like. Or would you prefer I just come over there and squeeze? How many? Another question, straight out of the greatest hits. How can I put this? How many times have you eaten bread? Never. Got a gluten thing, bitch! Whatever. Point is, I am not a collector. This is not my hobby. I do not keep count. There is no code. I do what I want, as often as I want to. Do what thou wilt. Whole of the law. Is that it? Don't know what you're referencing. But from where you're sitting, do I really look like the all-law-abiding type? I bring the mask back down to my face, and again its surface seems to shudder. Forget it. At least I know. You deserve what's coming. I've heard a lot of empty threats in people's last moments, Creek. They're never that memorable. Told you that mask was a death sentence. And it was spoken for. They called in a huntsman from overseas. Home turf. Huntsman can become anyone, go anywhere, kill anything. Supposed to come over and slaughter the rest. That mask was part of his payment. They'll be looking for it. Possession is 9/10 of the law. What the hell's that supposed to mean? Finders keepers. Forget it. I don't need to scare you. Huntsman, hunter, too much meaning lost. I always thought better translation was pelt taker. He'll find you, flay you alive, wear your skin, then go around and murder everyone you've ever loved. He laughs. What a face. Should have taken you up on tipping out early. Anything beat dying staring at that face. A face like that. So, a huntsman coming to get me. Nah, the dead and the dying make for strong bluffers, and I've seen more than a few of them try their hand at improv. Time to move. I need to scuff things up a bit more, make this look more like an orca shootout than, well, a visit from me. Holy sh... Okay, the fact that we're just straight into Morgan doing her Morgan thing and not her lawyer thing, fucking insane. I want my knife. Weapons are inherently disposable. I can kill with anything. So I never bothered to retrieve one from a dead man's grip. But I might have need for a knife again shortly. So I'll be taking this back, Miller. I had to pry. Why is it that the dead are always grasping? The sword was not worth the effort. Lesson learned. But now I have to remove it for this next part. His eyes. Can't tell the model from the outside, but I can make a strong, educated guess of the price range. If they pack up any data, it can't be more often than once an hour. It'll be 10 o'clock soon. I want to need something with some heft to it. Skull, see no evil. Woof. Jesus Christ, Morgan's fucking brutal. Well, that's definitely spent, but his eyes are no longer a problem. And the sword is fine where it is. I'm not going to tempt fate and risk nicking myself with it. That's all the burning issues addressed. Time to take care of the chores. I had to remove my gloves to convince them I could use the dark card. That means I handled all the murder weapons with my bare hands. Obviously, I'll need to wipe my prints off this gun and my knife. I put my gloves on before opening Creek's safe and cracking Trey's skull. So what does that leave? Focus. No mistakes. The sword. Oh my god, I can advance? I can skip cleaning up my prints off the sword? Oh no. That's the sword. I gripped the handle with both hands when I brought it down on his neck. Thinking back, I dragged the tip across the floor, didn't I? Shit. Probably got Miller's blood on it. That's sloppy. That's stupid. Why the hell did I... No. Forget it. There's something I can do about it anyway. Fingerprints can be wiped, but there's no cleaning agent on Earth that can hide blood from a modern forensics team. And I'm not looking to do an encore performance of my reaction to those goddamn fickle boobies. What? Hold on, what? Oh, fickle bobbies. I don't know why I read boobies. I guess we all, well, you know, actually, I know why. What else did we touch? Oh yeah, the card. The dark card played its role as bait perfectly, even if it's the reason I'm having to go around wiping off prints. I'll never be able to pull funds off it, but I might be able to use it again if... it's stuck. Creek must have dropped it harder than I realized. Getting the shot in the stomach doesn't help with handling delicate electronics. No way I'm gonna risk taking the whole reader with me. Could have any number of pings and strings, leading back to the manufacturer, or even the Blue Bloods themselves. Now, I'll wipe the dark card off, and then set the whole reader back on the desk. For all anyone knows, Creek's pod mugged it off some slumber, and we're trying in vain to get beer money off it. Right, the keys I took off him to open the safe. The Blue Bloods are going to find out to check the mask eventually, but I see no reason to give them any hints. And on the off chance the police get here first, I'd rather they not investigate this as a robbery. All that's to say, you can have these back, Creek. That's the remote I was used to distract the big guy. Need to wipe my prints off it, of course, but should I turn the music back off? No, it was playing when I first walked in. Best to preserve continuity. And besides, what was he said? We like it loud, screws with bugs. He was right about that much. A little smoke screen never hurts. That's right, we didn't take a drag of the cigarette. We didn't touch anything else that I can think of. Is there anything I'm missing? I really want to be careful that I don't miss anything. Hate to leave behind clues. Make it easy for them. Doesn't seem like it. It seems like we got everything. Normally this thing would... whatchamacallit, blah blah. Normally it would say, be like, hey, you got everything, it'll move on now. But I feel like it's purposely not doing that to fuck with me. It's purposely being like, hey, guess what? You found everything, but we're not going to tell you found everything so that you can be worried and think that maybe you're not done, but you are done. And I'm just like, curse you. Nope, that's just the advance button. Okay. I think that's everything. So we didn't take our gloves off until the last minute. Can't exactly spend all night on this. Am I good here? What else is there? Okay, so I can look again. Cool. Okay, so like here's the thing. A part of my brain is just like, these bastards would put in a moment of being like, think about it a second time, and then you'll find something that you missed only because we didn't let you have it, which would also suck ass. But okay, I think we're good. Okay, this feels like the scene's been set. It's a strange sensation, erasing your own presence. A sense of supremely private accomplishment, like placing the last piece into a milk-white jigsaw puzzle and then throwing it in the trash. It's not unpleasant, but I can't linger here any longer to savor it. Time to draw this to a close. I'm so curious what's back here. This is the torture scene from earlier, right? Thank God for the mask. I can still tell it smells god-awful in here, but it's bearable. Rehydrated sweat and vomit, scents full of adrenaline and sickly heat. Unfiltered, I'd be at risk of getting sick if it weren't for all the blood. Right. What to do with you? Blindfolded, gagged, hands bound above him with plastic ties and linen wrapping, beaten bloody and drugged. These syringes, they wanted him to stay conscious. Not very popular, are you? Still, you're not dead, and with these kind of injuries, you won't die soon. Not without a push. That might be the most charitable thing to do under these circumstances. Must have wished for death at least once during all this torture. Too bad. The bat that barred this door is now in splinters. Anyone walking in after me won't realize that this room was locked from the outside. If this captive had somehow gotten his hands on a blade, there'd be nothing stopping him from stepping out of here and butchering his captors. The Blue Bloods will want someone to blame for the deaths of 4 of their men, and unlike the police, they won't bother arresting an innocent man and putting him up on trial for the world to see. They'll wrap things up for me. All that for me. As for the gun... What's it that... All I did was tie the gun into your wristband, pal. Oh. Okay, I can see how that would be distressing under the circumstances. Well, you can relax about that. It's not loaded. A few minutes from now, you're gonna wish it was. Out again already. Rest up while you can. When you wake up, you'll want to start running. Okay, so the good news is Bound Man could not see us. He very likely didn't hear Morgan, just because, or at least not clearly enough to be able to identify her voice. We should be fine. Hello? Sarah! Like I practiced. Irashai! Irashai! I have no... pardon. Keep working on it, kid. Or Kintsugi. Didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle of training your new employee. How's it working out? It's she, right? Never worked this close with an ad before. She is unbearably forgiving, so I doubt you'll get sued. She's fine. Good at cleaning, precise with the mixing. There's a hell of a lot of trivia. Popular with the younger crowd, I think. This is the place with the android bartender. Looked like I installed a new karaoke machine. I didn't know you had a younger crowd. Funny. What's that make you, Grandma? More of a learning curve to her than I was expecting. You just cheap out on her base installs. It's like I have to teach her everything. Trust me, there's nothing cheap about Sarah. Friend, daughter. Occupation, paralegal, and apprentice at Kintsugi. Dislikes mops, fire alarms, and variety packs. Useless talent. I can do a full split, but that is not useless. Confession, I tried to use Adonai's makeup and broke a lipstick. No, Sarah! But yes, she can take a minute when learning the ropes. Grin and bear it a little while longer. Once she does find her footing, she'll have you worried about your job security in no time. Give it up. Didn't have to do you the favor of hiring her, you know. Favor? Plenty of people out there who'd kill to work in an up-and-coming, bespoke establishment like Bar Kintsugi. I think I hear them pounding on the door now. Technically, legally, you didn't hire anyone. I generously agreed to loan you my android during the hours when I have no use for it. These kind of arrangements aren't uncommon. Androids can, in theory, work 24 hours a day, indefinitely, but their users can't. Parents come home from work, people go to sleep, staff take holidays, offices close for the night. The end result of all that slack is that a lot of androids spend a good portion of their operating time waiting around, so the more enterprising owners loan them out during that downtime. Ideally, the businesses with complimentary working hours. There are plenty of apps and HR software to help arrange it all, but Sarah's apprenticeship wasn't that on the books. After the fallout around David's death settled down, I came to realize exactly how short-changed I was in our paralegal agreement. She's handy for research and rote work, of course, but she barely sleeps, rarely eats, finishes paperwork at lightning speed. I was spending more time finding shit to keep her busy than I was actually working. And of course, I value my alone time. It was on one of those long walks of mine that I called Reinhardt recalled Reinhardt was having trouble getting this bar up and running. Takes a village to keep the world's most advanced android busy. Yeah, alone, whatever. Sarah's the one who clocks in and clocks out, does the work, cleans the bathroom. She's the employee. If she was an employee, you'd have to cover her benefits. Not in my current income bracket. I checked. 3 times. Wait, you're not taking a paycheck, are you? It's not a paycheck. Don't lawyer me on this shit. Sarah can't earn a paycheck. She's not a person. If she walks like a person and talks like a person and works like a person, the Supreme Court disagrees. By 13-0. Yeah, well, Supreme Court's been wrong about that kind of thing before, haven't they? What? Oh, ho. Fucking the music just says that, music just goes still, it goes quiet. Everyone go, do I hear a touche? Okay, I fucking love this guy. This guy, fucking great. And he likes libraries? Sarah, tell boss here what you spend your salary on. I have started purchasing cases of wine. What? Wait, that's what those deliveries were. As the wine appreciates, its resale value will increase. especially if I can predict which vintages will be in high demand. Since I don't have a bank account, I can't earn interest in the traditional sense, but as I stay up to date on the sommelier reviews, so you'll resell the wine at a profit. And what do you do with that money? Stop it, you're making it depressed. I did also purchase a cache of sheet music. What? What for? Practice? You're muttering. Forget it, none of my business. Speaking of business, the place isn't exactly packed. Well, you volunteering to help with that? There are lawyer bars, right? Right? All the lawyers go to trial. Kintsugi could be a lawyer bar. Yeah, those lawyer bars are usually close to the courthouse, though. Just don't. Everything's signed and paid. I can't think about what ifs on location anymore. This is the spot that was available in that. Need a soda water with all the stress in my stomach. Sarah, 10 bar. Ahem. What are you buying, stranger? What was that? Boss has been teaching me his bar-side manner. He says that his clientele expects a certain degree of maturity when they come here. And so you're using a deeper voice. Is it not working? Please let me know when you're ready to order. Oh. Okay, this game is on fucking point. I love it. Someone leave this behind after the lunch break. Could be trouble if they left anything work-related. I'll help them out by throwing it in the trash after I'm done reading. Sirius debuts new fuel named a new lawsuit. Dr. Sirius made waves in the scientific community for the dozenth time when they announced that they had patented the process for distilling a new helium-based fuel, one intended to replace hydrogen in combustion engines ranging from personal vehicles to full-size firefighters. They made headlines again when that patent was leaked to the global net. Now Proteca, an investment firm, filed a lawsuit alleging not only that Dr. Sirius failed in their responsibilities to protect their investment, but actually allowed the leak to occur. In this world, if you're not plugged battery-powered phone is light enough to remove closely guarded national reserves, there are no fossil fuels left. The wells were pumped dry years ago, so after you're forced to adapt, it should not have been abrupt. It should not have been abrupt! Anyways. The plane I took to get here runs on hydrogen, which is nothing but water vapor. What's the problem? The problem is the laborers fueling your plane before it took off had their fingers crossed the entire time. If the absolute grounding field failed, one static spark could... Yeah, Hindenburg shit. Although the Hindenburg was more because of the paint, I think, if I remember my Mythbusters correctly. But, you know, also the air bad. Helium-2 fuel is not pure, to be clear, but near enough. What we've created is non-combustible. You can fire a flamethrower over a tank of it and remain perfectly safe. But in the presence of our specialized catalyst, it can be ignited to generate force comparable to, or sometimes superior to, horsepower. Okay. Expensive to distill. More expensive, we have, yeah. Steel wasn't profitable before the Bessemer process things, okay? The answer is yes, of course. I'll be overjoyed for someone to improve upon what we've built. That's essentially what Proteca has accused you of doing, leaking your data intentionally, so others around the world are free to start experimenting with it. Try and summarize Proteca's lawsuit against me. Energy is limitless. It cannot be expanded. By that virtue, there cannot be a scarcity of it. You will never have a monopoly of it. And since it is infinite, the correct market price for it will, over a long enough timescale, trend to zero. Except for the fact that artificial scarcity is a thing. Oh, that's what he's saying. People don't like that very basic math. The science... Oh. Liberal bias in the sciences. Science is not political. Science is progress. Moving forward, learning more about the universe, deepening our understanding of its mechanics, and the process will never be conservative. Science doesn't move backwards. You're free to interpret as you like. That's what makes something science has nothing to do with who works on it. Science is reproducible. No miracles required. Miracles are prohibited. If one person can do it, anyone can do it, and so science is inherently egalitarian. If someone feels that because of that science has a bias against them, then that speaks only to their own politics and not the failings of the scientific community. Oh, fucking God. This game. I still don't have any evidence proving they aren't legitimately brilliant, but I can't take seriously anyone who guest stars on TV that much. Can't deny they seem to be making new kinds of fuels. Yeah, this isn't necessarily renewable energy, this is fuels. Please don't throw that data pad out. Its owner might come back. Perish the thought. Although, now that you planted the idea in my head. A self-fulfilling prophecy! Rain must have searched for months to find affordable underground real estate that wasn't flooded, or already filled to the brim with server farms. Putting Sarah on cleaning duty was a good call. If any of the tiling in here starts to grime up, it could start feeling like a subway station bathroom real fast. Oh God, no! Don't talk about the ladder. They're gonna do it. They're gonna talk about the ladder. It's gonna happen. They did it once this episode already. They're gonna do it again. Watch. It's a well-stocked bar. Got tea and coffee too, if that's what you're into. Nice ambiance, soft lighting, warm on a chill night and cool on a hot day. Never mind, they're ignoring it. Now all that's left to do is wait for the customers to stream in. Any day now. Okay, never mind. We're not talking about the ladder that's right there. Because that's a ladder, not a step ladder, right? Right. I think that's everything? Appears to be everything. Nope. Oh, hey, look! Kitty. It's a lucky cat. Yeah. Did you say something, Adonai? No. I suddenly got the strong impression that there was something you wanted to say. Don't know what you're talking about. As you say, Neko unlocked? What do you mean Neko unlocked? Tell me more. Oh my God. Oh, fucking goddamn it. The stupid charm. No. Oh my God, that's so stupid. Fucking amazing. I don't want to buy all these. Oh, there's a Sarah on the clock charm, but I need to clear episode 2 on High Roller. We're fine. Also, can I buy all this? I have 120. 126. 150, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 95, 110, 112, 14, 16. What are we objecting to, Lady Duvar? Are we objecting to this? I think it's funny. Are we objecting to... Yeah. Are we objecting to the fact that I couldn't buy everything? Watch me. Hey, look, it's the wife. The goth version you keep seeing online. Okay, we gotta turn everything back to normal. Okay, we're back to Sarah. Everything was back to normal. We bought everything. As you say, I think I'm ready to order. Of course. No, I'll take this, Sarah. Go wipe the tables for a bit. No one has sat at them since I last cleaned them. They pretend to clean them like a normal employee. Understood. What's got you so tense? Take a wild guess. Did Sarah ask for a raise? Be serious, Red. What happened last night? Her information was accurate, for the most part. A pod of mid-level blue bloods had it. Seems like they were told to sit on it. Were they willing to sell? Nope. After my price, called me a spoiled mag and kicked my butt out the door. Not entirely what happened, but I wasn't curious where you got your information from. Honestly, no, and that's legitimately true. They did not care. They rushed me out of there pretty fast once they heard my offer. Were they expecting more company? I got the impression they had work to get back to. Okay. Anything else I should know? No. Anything you want to ask me? How did you two meet? The tables! On my second day, you told me not to over-polish them in order to keep things lofty. Lo-fi. Isn't that inappropriate of a question? You've lived in the city for decades, boss, but Anna and I didn't move here until she started her apprenticeship at Masters in If you're gonna tell people my whole life story at every possible opportunity, I'll just shred my resume and start mailing you around instead. Oh, we met, huh? Well, that story's not very good. I'll skip to the end and cut to the heart of our relationship, Sarah. I pay Reynard a finder's fee, and he tells me where I can get into high-stakes poker games. And that's not a lie. Now you know my terrible secret. Disappointed? It's not illegal to gamble. I don't go on my phone and wager my paycheck stubs on point spreads. I gamble. And since I can't afford the entrance fees for one of those anonymous, masked ball, cult vibe, blimp casinos the rich go to, I count on your boss here to find me tables to play at. Guilty. So you travel to the lower wards to gamble illegally. Truth be told, I've had my suspicions. Seeing you go out at such odd hours without so much as your phone, you're gonna turn me in. Irashai! Or is it more firm? Irashai! Two firm-looking men in finely pressed black suits, with shades tinted so dark they must need modded eyes to see from behind them. Despite the subtle color palette, they stand out. It's hard not to in clothes that look that expensive. Clothes with some kind of pin on them. Matching pins. More emphasis on the raw. Oh, thank you. I just heard the delivery drones bumping around outside, Sarah. Would you check out the back? Your vintages might have arrived. Go on. Please excuse me then. Afternoon then, gentlemen. What can I do for you? Mr. Diamante, pardon us for dropping in without first making an appointment. No trouble at all. Still getting the place cleaned up. Awfully embarrassed that I failed to realize the property lay within your borders. If you'd come with me to the back, I'd be happy to settle whatever debt. We look like petty landlords to you. If you owed us tribute, you'd know it by now. My mistake. Well, if you're here for information, I'll gladly wheel and deal. How about you? We're not here to shop, either. We're here looking for Morgan. Well, that name ring any bells, Mr. Diamante? Right. Listen, boys, I'm not sure. Sorry. I have something blaring in my earbud. I'm a Morgan Esquire, specifically. How can I be of service? I mostly practice criminal defense, but I do offer a few other services. You two look corporate. I can recommend some good workplace attorneys. Got a business card somewhere. We're not interested in that. Of course not. Well, I'm flattered that you'd come all the way here to find me. You must have already tried the home office. We can set something up for... You need to come with us now, ma'am. Hey, I thought you said there was nothing I needed to know. Business day's over for me, gentlemen. Can this matter wait until tomorrow? Doesn't look like it can. Great manners, this one. Time sensitive, then. My rate will have to reflect that. Send us the bill. We can afford it. Music to any lawyer's ears. So, who is we, then? You think you're funny. Compared to you. Morgan! These fine gentlemen are from House Icaria. I'm familiar. You are? I've seen their name in the papers. Plastering their name all over uptown opera houses and homes for the sick or whatever. Though I didn't recognize that name when those blue bloods were cursing it last night, so maybe that propaganda's working. Doesn't matter how generous they are, goddess, they're still the richest and most powerful criminal organization in the city. Rich and powerful. Why bother with the criminal qualifier? Sorry, might ask about the nature of this arrangement. The situation is developing, Mr. Diamante. We appreciate your patience. That's not what you want to hear. So I gathered. Your presence has been requested at the family estate, ma'am. For business, or the Arcadia are always business. Shall we get you your coat? Such gentlemen! I knew those suits weren't just for show. I can see myself out just fine, though. Don't I? What's going on? Are you going somewhere? That's why they pay me the big bucks. These men are very athletic. Perhaps I should come with you. If they want to arm wrestle, you'll be the first to know. Go in when you get there, yeah? If I'm actually in danger, I won't even be conscious when I arrive, but I appreciate the thought. If I'm actually in danger, I'll be dead in the next hour, so, you know. Boss? Who were those men, really? New clients for Morgan, really. Hopefully. Hopefully? Yeah, hopefully. Because if House Arcadia puts her on retainer, she'll be able to buy you as much wine as you like. But what do you mean by house? Alright, pay attention. If I'm going to lecture, might as well try to teach. Start with ice. You want a lot of it, but low surface area, so never use crushed, okay? Starts to melt into the liquor, waters the whole thing down. Understood. 1.5 ounces of vodka. And what do we look for in a good vodka? Smoothness. Correct. It's market quality, making the bitter go down easy. So, the nobility. You know what that is? Historically, the ruling class, as enforced through economic or military might and maintained by familiar relations. Juice of a full lime. Look for a little spring and a consistent color across the skin. Nobility. Old money. There's another word for it. And the older it is, the slower it moves. Only so much wealth he could accrue in one lifetime, collecting from serfs and selling horses. But the Industrial Revolution comes along, shows the world what real wealth acquisition looks like, then you get new money, which always dwarfs old money. Inflation, split inheritances shave away at any generational wealth that's liquid. Now, new money and old money, they don't like each other. Doesn't new money eventually become old money? If the old money can help it, no one ever becomes old money. Triple sec, 1 ounce. My family was new money. Tried to make the transition. Join the right club, shake the right hands, make the right marriages, laugh at the bad jokes. Bad jokes can be entertaining in their own right. Not the kind of bad I'm talking about. I don't understand. That's alright. You shouldn't need to know. But what do you mean your family was new money? Times changed. About 30 years ago, recession, depression, civil unrest, political upheaval. Most people, I was so scared they could barely think about tomorrow, let alone next year. But a decent man's chaos is a cruel man's investment opportunity. While everyone else was panic selling off everything they could to buy food and water, a certain type of personality was buying, for pennies on the dollar, as it were. Give me a peel from that lime, as shallow as possible. Any white you see is just bitter. 1 ounce of gin. Rough years, but the past. At the end of it all, some were left standing with a lot more than they came in with. New money. A new kind of new money. The new nobility. Neobility, if you're writing a think piece. Unabashed oligarchs and devourer barons. When the governments of the world tried to reprivatize the industries they had taken over with emergency powers, they were there to snatch them. And they started at the bottom. Steel, fuel, grain, machine, parts, medicine. Here enters House Arcadia. Oh, that's how they exited. They went into the Red Decade as the Arcadia Cartel. Drug smugglers and extortionists, thieves and murderers. Came out as one of the richest, most respectable names in the country. Not if they actually stopped doing any of that thieving and murdering, mind you. Put the top on tight and shake. So they are a crime family, like the mob? This is the 21st century, kid. It's muddier than that. House Arcadia is not literally one family, not even one race or creed. They're simply the strongest criminal organization in the city, on paper. But not in practice. Practice is what they're lacking. Haven't had to get their hands dirty. Haven't had to maintain a presence in the lower wards in years. They make their profits from investments, blackmail, and more than a little insider trading. So the criminal, yes, but their muscles atrophied. Time for a taste test. In other words, they're kind of your standard criminal organization, aka a big company. The end. You know, the legal kind of criminal organization. Ugh, that's not right at all. How did I forget? Boss? There must have been other criminal organizations 30 years ago. Others poised to take advantage of the changing times, yeah? So, what did the Icaria do to set themselves apart from the rest back then? Stupid. Most important ingredient. Child's blood. Drop of grenadine. Did that say child's blood? Is that what happened? The Lady Maria. Oh, it's beautiful. This is nothing. We use a frosted glass. This was for a customer. Looks like a ruby in the right lighting. If you do end up helping Red work with the Icaria, don't let the warmth of the golden furnishings confuse you. All that glitters is cold. I don't know why I gave him this accent as well. It's just kind of what slipped out when I saw his face. To be fair, that's kind of how everyone's going so far. This is what comes out. I see a face, voice comes out. The end. It was a quiet and uneventful drive in the back of the limousine. The privacy, at least, was nice. But with Abbott and Costello riding in the front, I had no way of getting information out of them. Not even passively. I even tried to do a whole who's on first bit, and unfortunately, they didn't fall for it. Gave me a little bit of entertainment, though. So instead, I spent the whole ride trying to play out all the different ways that this could go. I haven't liked any of them so far. I suppose I should have felt relief or gratitude when we pulled up outside an imposing skyscraper instead of an alley. I suppose it's a good sign that no one's put a bag over my head and stuck a needle in my neck. But I don't feel like celebrating. For all I know, they really don't have a clue about what I did in the lower wards last night. But for some reason, they've placed their attention on me. And there's little I hate more than unwanted advances. I'm also not a fan of being made to wait. Why am I just sitting out here? In here? Oh, we were too late. Only by a few minutes. He filled the time slot. Already. We've got no chance of... Maybe, if his other meeting went well. Are we on hold, gentlemen? In the world's most expensive waiting room? Quiet. I take it he's glaring at me behind those lenses, but I'm more interested in the sweat glistening on his forehead. Somehow, of the three of us, I'm the most relaxed. This is becoming embarrassing. Can I at least take in the view while we're here? You can take photos if you like, so long as you're quiet. Really? No, your phone won't work in here. Go figure. The illusion isn't unimpressive, I guess. Windows into the heavens, sparkling like raindrops across a puddle. Might even be appealing, if it wasn't trying to be something it's not. You look up and see hexagons above you, and the lower wards too. Rich or poor, people just can't imagine themselves under an open sky anymore. How unfortunate. If one of those hexagons fall, you'd be screaming the sky is falling, and people call you crazy. Not even in their wildest dreams. If I weren't hyper-aware of the flickering sky hanging over my head, this could make for a lovely watering hole. But those probably aren't even real fish down there. Literal children are capable of keeping goldfish alive, and of course the 0.1%ers can't manage it. Maybe they'd spin it. When their pallid bodies float to the top because some idiot raised the water temperature 2 degrees, they'd certainly be easy to scoop out. If you're an impatient, undignified idiot, you could argue that's an efficient way to fish. I'm just trying too hard to look unconcerned if I sit down and start reading the news. Maybe, but my boredom outweighs my apprehension at the moment. Not my fault, they failed to be sufficiently intimidating. PSS Proposition City ahead of next month's convention. Next month, the city will play host to one of the most competitive political conventions in recent memory. Senator Mapping is expected to face significant opposition from party outliers for securing his nomination. But while the broader city officials are already under fire for a supposed lack of sufficient convention security, record high monthly budget for the police department. Really? 40 years from now and we're still getting record high monthly budgets? Jesus Christ. Well, actually, that doesn't surprise me. Private security services, including White Adder, Fang, and Dimico, has released a press statement urging City Council to consider contracting their services ahead of the... Heartbreak was bad enough. Now we're hearing that cops are dying in the lower wards. What are you going to say? What? We have the utmost respect for all first responders and hardworking police. When political intent... Our contracted forces have world-class training in crowd pacification, preemptive de-escalation, enhanced interrogation tactics, red torture. And any of the subhuman scum who empathize with anarchists won't dare to leave their mother's basement when we get our boots on the ground. Terrifying. City Council declined to comment. National political spotlight draws lobbyists, delegates, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks for a convention when the nominee was decided 2 years ago? It's a joke, and we are the punchline. Who is this? This is just general public. Generous donors including Daniel Mass, the Daniel Mass Foundation, Rebecca E. Jones, the Rebecca E. Jones, Jessica and Ron McGuile, the McGuile Foundation for the Arts and Sciences, the Rockford Fund for the Public Broadcasting, and readers like you. I suppose it's less offensive than a bare advertisement or paywall, but why is there donors mid-article? All does make my eyes glaze over. Whatever, I got the important part. The city's hosting that convention next month, putting pressure on the council to vote on... whether or not bringing private security contractors on top of the massive policing budget. Makes a little difference to me. Cops and mercs have different quirks, but they all share the same blind spots, and no, did not intend for that to rhyme. But I'll be just fine. How the average law-abiding citizen will put up with them clogging the streets for 2 weeks, though? Not like it'll be the least popular political decision made next month. Everyone knows Mackins will be the candidate. That was decided years ago. The contested convention will just be him finding a balance between how much public opposition he's willing to stomach against how many favors he feels like giving out. This country's already a circus without any bread. I think the least they could do was make the performances entertaining. What was that in the article about cops dying in the lower wards, anyway? Pretty heavy-handed, just make up that kind of thing, even when pearl clutching and pitching yourself at the same time. Well, I've looked around at everything that caught my eye, and now I'm all out of ideas. Everything except... maybe they don't know we're here. I'm gonna try knocking. What do you... Hey! Before I get the chance, Creaking Oak draws my attention to an alternate entrance on the other side of the water. Hello? Who is it? Hello, sir. Are you the current head of House Icaria? Stop staring and get a move on. And that's the kind of man walking out of this place. Who's waiting for me inside? Oh. Never mind. Probably not House Icaria. Maybe the Blue Bloods? Although that'd be a hell of a thing to happen right now. Icaria Tower. Residential floors. Grand Hall. Pomp and circumstance, ceremony and ritual. For some reason, I thought that the Mafia, of all people, would be a little bit more efficient in their execution. A little more honest about what they are. Clearly, you've never watched a Mafia movie. Evidently not. Artifice with every glance, costumes and makeup abound. Is this disappointment? That even here, in the supposed bowels of the underworld, there's no escaping the etiquette of it all. She's the one? Doesn't look like much. Suddenly, their posture stiffens even further, a true feat. Their necks suddenly turn to a pair of doors in the back, each of them attuned to some signal I'm not receiving. Be still, the young master returns. How young? How young of a young master? Incredibly young. Awesome. That's really funny. Thank you for making the joke. You're late. Hold on. Wait. Young master, sir, everyone slow down. We came as soon as we found her. Traffic was... This is some sassy lost child! And this is a One Punch Man reference! Who is this sassy lost child? Silence. Yes, sir. What time were you told to return by? 4 o'clock, sir. And what time is it now? Mission to check my phone? You're late! You were tasked with finding one woman and bringing her here in a timely manner. Sir, you'll speak when I tell you to, and not one word further, or else I'll have your teeth removed. By way of curbside. Is this a prank? Am I being recorded? He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. So says Sun Tzu. Please let this be a prank, and I don't think you can fathom the cost your tardiness has incurred. If the lead up to my execution is some kid reading from Art of War, I might just... What is the #1 rule in this family? Timeliness, sir! When money gets wasted, it can be replaced. But time only goes one way. It's always running out. The loss is permanent. Every second wasted is a scar on this house's face. Timeliness is next to godliness. So say I. Oh God. So if you two ever waste my time, the house's time, again, expect to be dragged through hell. I'm already there. Now both of you get out. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Useless. You. Red woman, you're being addressed. Forget pride. I just want this over with as fast as possible. You're the lawyer, correct? You may answer. As fast as possible. I am a lawyer. Morgan, criminal defense. Mr. How should I address you? As all outsiders do, by my name. Makoto, of House Ikaria. What's with all the motherfuckers we keep running into named Makoto? Why does this keep coming up? Occupation, heir apparent, unemployed, student. Wait, such impudence! Date of birth, February 27th, very close to leap year. Likes biography, Shogi and Amber. Doesn't like tardiness, tarnish, or group assignments. Mood. Favorite figures, Saladin, Sun Tzu, and Hannibal. Favorite phrase, Vae Victus, literally woe to the conquered. Relaxes by building and painting models. Okay, kid's got some nice hobbies. You, Morgan Criminal Defense. Had the great honor of being summoned to me. Don't bother bowing. Once you start, you'll end up prostrated all day. We have important work to do. Right. Out of abundance of respect for your time, Makoto, I should let you know that I still have no idea what I'm doing here. Oh. I'll have the nail on a bed of nails later. Some such thing. Mrs. Defense. Mrs. Really. The house has need of your legal services. Oh. Would you give me a moment to clear my throat? I need to switch gears. Un instant. Alright then, so you want to hire me. One of our own is being slandered by multiple homicide charges. You will defend him. You want to hire me, and I'm flattered, Makoto, but did you pull my name out of a hat? Pick a random page in the phone book. I have many books on my phone. Libraries full of esoteric knowledge spread across countless tomes. You will have to be more specific. Sorry, I misspoke. What I mean is, this is House Ikaria. You must keep a small army of lawyers on retainer. Surely any one of them would be happy to help you. True, we have lawyers. Competent ones, expensive ones, and some who are both. But the best of them are all preoccupied. That's it. They're all just preoccupied. Preoccupied means busy. Thanks. But I'm still not sure how my name specifically was. Do you have a customer survey you want filled out, Mrs. Defense? You were recommended. What does it matter how it came about? Normally, it wouldn't matter. When the client I'm recommended to is one of the richest, most well-connected families in the country, it gives me pause. I don't have any friends in high places. Not anymore. Makes it hard to see this as a favor. Not when my employer doesn't even know my goddamn name. Of course, my apologies. No doubt you have other questions. Very well, I'll permit you to ask them. Such a gentleman. If I wasn't brought here because of what happened last night, then this is just another job. Meaning all of this, starting back at the bar, this has all just been their idea of a power move. Thank you for insisting that I get to visit your estate in person. It's beautiful here. An oasis of old world sensibility amidst a desert of steel and neon eyesores, is what the house elders say. I've never seen anything like it. Measure your family's reputation for class. Ha! My family's reputation is power, not class. I take it a step further and guess you're renowned for violence rather than power. But that's a moot point. Violence can be classy. And from how this house is talked about in the headlines I read on the drive over, the nature of your family's reputation seems to vary greatly, depending on who you ask. Some think you've got half the gangs in the city under your control. Others think you've left all that behind and are no worse than the other corporate family. Are you expecting me to ask what you think? What I think, because I'll need some basic information if I'm to adequately defend your interest. We're financiers. You don't say. Lending, investing, taking over, buying out. The Ikaria Financial Group was founded nearly 2 centuries ago. Loaning funds is high risk and high reward, but as you can see, our results speak for themselves. Ikaria Financial Group? Fancy way of saying they got their start as mobster loan sharks. It's not impossible to get this rich with loan sharking alone, but such unsavory work when they get them into the bathrooms and boardrooms tiers of society. Ballrooms and boardrooms tiers of society. Excuse me, I misread that, because they're all a bunch of fools. You gotta rip people off with mortgages to do that. Is lending the house's only income stream? No. Through Aria, our holding company, the house controls any number of what a civilian like you might call legitimate enterprises. And yes, we did found the Renogen Pharmaceutical Corporation, but what's past is prologue. Renogen? They're a drug company, one of the biggest. You're saying you're no relation to Renogen? Presently, the company went public years ago, and Aria divested our shares not long after. We were given 1 seat on the board, as a formality. That's the extent of it. Given? A family like this only takes. Why is he suddenly so humble? He doesn't know the meaning of the word, if he's downplaying their pull within Renogen. Then the house must have a reason to want to distance themselves from the company. You're being very modest, Makoto, and more than a little vague. It's only polite. It's unnecessary, talking to your lawyer. You aren't my lawyer, Mr. Defends. But you will be working for me, so you'll have to become accustomed to putting your needs second. He's deflecting, and if he's trying to be subtle about it, he's not doing it well. I doubt it's possible a company with as big a boot heel as Renogen has no relation to anything that happens in the city, but I'll drop it for now. I'm in no rush to wade into boardroom politics again anytime soon, but unfortunately I can feel it coming on. I'd like to know a bit more about you, actually. How long have you? I am the only son of Raphael Ikaria, and the only grandson of Daisuke Ikaria, CEO of the Ikaria Financial Group, patriarch of this family, and chairman of the house. I gather that those titles are all one and the same. As one destined to succeed the headship, commanding the family servants is my responsibility and my birthright. So if one of them needs a lawyer, it falls to you. When our loyal men, women, or their families need help, it is my solemn duty to ensure that they are taken care of. And your age? What a boorish question! I knew that peasants raised outside our status had little understanding of the finer things, but I assumed that one with a law degree would be educated enough to know what is and isn't appropriate to discuss. Just because I am younger than some does not mean I am any less capable of managing the people who work for me. Does it, men? Sir, no, sir! You definitely command their respect. That is no coincidence. One of the most frequently noted characteristics of great men who have remained great is loyalty to their subordinates. So says George S. Patton. That's so interesting. This is an important point. Perhaps another quote is called for. I don't think that's necessary. I'll grant you another. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive. And unless submissive, then will be practically useless. So said Sun Tzu. Back to back. Yes, the second quotation was called for in this instance. I've only emphasized to you that no one stays useless to House Ikaria for very long, one way or another. Okay, terrifying. I'll admit I was a little taken aback to step off an elevator and into your enclosure out there. The gardens? Yes, our groundskeepers work hard on them. Does the illusion of the sky come from a live recording of somewhere else? Or is it generated programmatically? That's quite the equation. It is impressive, yes. As for how it works, I don't have the technical minutiae in front of me at the moment. That's okay. Of course it is. A lion does not concern himself with the exterior decorations of the sheep. It's your exterior and your decorations. This is your circus and your monkeys. You don't know how they run, do you? What does it matter, anyway? If you want the specifics so badly, I'll have one of the servants put you in contact with the contracting firm. That's all right. Something tells me the consultation alone would break my bank account. I do appreciate the warm welcome, Makoto of House Ikaria, really. But legal consultations are usually more private than this. Are we certain we need the peanut gallery? Let it not be said that House Ikaria is not accommodating of its guests. We are more than capable of compensating for this nut allergy you allude to. That's so sweet of you, but do all these guards really need to be present for this conversation? If you're referring to the additional security, it can't be helped, circumstances being what they are. Circumstances? And if you're referring to my retainers in general, then I suggest you step back into the garden and take a deep breath. Clearly, the city's fumes do not agree with your constitution. You must be lightheaded if you think that you're worthy to hold a one-on-one audience for the next head of this illustrious house. He's a prodigy to be this insufferable at such a young age. Thank you for indulging my curiosity so graciously, Makoto. Conquer the stingy through generosity. So says Buddha. Correct. Perhaps your education is not quite as deficient as I feared. But I should make clear that in this case I was using the quote to subtly imply that you were stingy with your own graciousness. Got it? Yeah. Shall we move on? I believe you mentioned a homicide? Multiple homicides. Tell me more. My head of security was arrested by the police last night in the lower wards. Uh-oh. I knew it. The guy was from House Ikaria. They found him brutally beaten, drugged, and tortured. And instead of bringing him straight to a hospital, they arrested him for murder. He's been framed, and you must prove his innocence. The fucking style change. Oh, fucking God, that's funny. This is the motherfucker that she pinned the fall on. God, the fucking... Infant. Is there something wrong with your voice? Is this that peanut allergy you mentioned? No, I just lost my train of thought for a second there. I'm not used to my luck changing this fast. One of the richest families in the city wants to pay me to prove a man's innocent of a crime I framed him for. Right then, might I ask why he was found in the lower wards? I get the impression that Ikaria territory is generally positioned more vertically. This whole city is our territory. But it's true that our presence is felt more strongly in some areas than other. They captured him early yesterday. He was ambushed by cowards and dragged down to that stain of a neighborhood to be tortured senselessly. Well, he was tortured, and I can attest to that much. I don't believe in senseless violence. There's always a purpose, and it's usually staring you in the face. People just don't like making eye contact. Do you have any idea why he was taken, or by whom? It was the Blue Bloods. They made no effort to hide it. In a worthy opponent, I might call them that commendable, but knowing them, they're just too stupid to value deniability. I'm sure. And I'm sure there's no love lost between your groups. But kidnapping and torturing is beyond the pale, I agree. And the police are even worse. I expected no help from those incompetent fools, but these charges they're making, they're utterly ridiculous. Of course they are. But don't worry. Wait, hold on. What do you mean What do you mean 5 murders? What do you mean 5 murders? 5? Did you say 5? Yes, 5! It's absurd! They pin... I can only take credit for 4 bodies. Acting so high and mighty, so affronted, so eager to blame us for the death of one of their officers. A dead cop? Is this what those mercs were advertising themselves with? What do you mean one of their officers? Was there a UC or... No, they made the ridiculous claim that he killed some uniform while resisting arrest. As if a member of our house would fear prison. Should have never dared to think I got lucky here. Those circumstances sound very complex, Makoto, and the police take the death of one of their own very seriously. What makes you so certain of this man's innocence? Because this man's name is Sosuke Ikaria. The Hound. I've known him all my life. All 3 or 4 years of it. There is no individual more honorable, more devoted, more trustworthy. And not once have I ever known him to be violent, impulsive. He didn't do this. I know he didn't do this. But proving that is your job. About that. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, Makoto. But you will, if for no other reason because we shall pay you more than you customarily receive for a contract. Considerably more. Not everything is a question of money. Yes, your meeting is taken, and you need to be silver and gold. You'll have no complaints with your compensation. The favor of Asakaria can go a long way in the city, as can our wrath. I don't appreciate being threatened. I don't find it funny, even coming from a kid. However, if the state thinks whoever killed those 4 blue bloods also killed a cop, I can't afford to set this hand out. They'll go over every centimeter of that building. One wrong move, one hair out of place. If I lose here, I lose. Period. But if I win, throwing an Ikaria-sized wallet in the pot beforehand is an upside. I understand, Makoto of House Ikaria. I'll take Sosuke's case. You say that as if it were ever in doubt. A true prodigy. But he might be right. Maybe it never was. I chose to put that gun into this Sosuke's hands when I could have just plunged that knife into his temple. Maybe the line drawn from that moment to the razor's edge I'm walking right now was perfectly straight. A line drawn from one point to another is always perfectly straight. A better metaphor would be a bullet's trajectory. For all the talk of wind resistance and breathing patterns and the Coriolis effect and chaos theory, you can't exactly act surprised when your shot lands right where the crosshairs were pointing. Morgan's my last name, by the way, before you start writing any checks. You should have enunciated! Evangeline Morgan, at your service. Please just call me Morgan. August 14th. In transit. Hey there, boss. Of course I'm fine. What did you think was going to happen? Yeah, all good news. I've got quite the paycheck coming my way. Maybe bad news for you, if you get a large crowd tonight. Yeah, tell Sarah to meet me at the police station address I'm about to send. I've got work for her to do. It'll be quite the paycheck indeed waiting for me, assuming I can win. Can I afford to accept it? Ugh. Hey. Were any of those jokes around the office about your clients being connected to organized crime true? What? This is some kind of honeypot. Trying to get a grasp on something. Now I know you're baiting me. World's easiest, that's what she said, layup. I'd still bask at that shit, though I don't give a fuck. Why do you make everything so hard? Come on. Come on, Freckles. Low-hanging fruit. I have no idea what you're talking about. Obviously. Why are you asking me about mafia shit, though? I'm working a case for the Ikaria, who I assume you've heard of. Definitely. Under circumstances that are probably vulgar. Absolutely. Which you'd be happy to brag about to me anytime. But I'm not well positioned to turn down the job outright. So I'd like to know whether they'll be resistant about parting ways afterwards. Why? You not like getting paid lots of money? I don't like being chained. Fair enough. So you're just asking for my advice? And also revealing something about your kinks that you're not into BDSM? Or at least you're definitely more on the dominant side as opposed to the submissive. I'm ignoring you. The aura loss is incredible. Not going to attempt to parse that. I doubt you ever could. My generation's sense of humor is practically impregnable. I'm a millennial, for God's sake. It was a very basic non sequitur, Auntie. It just wasn't funny. Not even. A non sequitur would be, what's the charge? That's just getting back on topic. The charge is homicide. 5 counts. You're probably fine. All the stuff you hear about mobsters being clingy with their lawyers. It's because they don't want anyone who's been through their underwear drawers running around telling tales. Whatever poor fucker they pinned multiple homicides on, it's obviously not anyone important. I don't think it was framed. Not by his own people. Nah, pinned as in stuck with. Like a chore. Powerful people. Mom or no? They get lawyers, it's for tax evasion and conspiracy charges. Dirty work's left to the pawns. And the whole point of a pawn is you don't have to think twice about trading them off. Alright. Guess I know the rumors are true then. Yep, you uncovered my cool fucking secret. Listen, actors, singers, celebs. They all like expensive things and being the center of attention. Mobsters have money to burn and want the cologne of legitimacy. Everyone wants what they can't have. Okay, chill, F. Scott Fitzgerald. Great-looking Gatsby ass. I still pine for thee, motherfucker. What? All I'm saying is there's mutually beneficial arrangements to be made between the rich and famous and the rich and infamous. So you bet your ass I was in those rooms, negotiating appearance fees and taking my 30%. 30%? You really are shameless. That's what she said. Alright. Thanks as always for the sage counsel. Hey, if you're really feeling grateful, do me a solid and call your rents. They say they never hear from you. And I know you can't be that busy. You're bored enough to talk to me. They're the ones who are busy. You're forgetting how cool she is. Luck? SSR on the first poll. Jesus Christ. Can I have that luck, ma'am? Insane. Could never be me. My luck is I'm lucky to get that SSR after 1,000 polls. It'll happen eventually. Don't play gacha games. Hey, do we get to meet London and Reyes again? Obviously, I wasn't sure what would happen after I left that crime scene. And I wasn't sure what I'd find walking in here to speak to my client. But I definitely wouldn't have bet the next time I saw this man alive, he'd actually look worse. Did you not hear me? I said I'm your lawyer. Oh, I heard you. I'm just not interested in wasting my breath responding. I'm sorry. Is this a misunderstanding here? Not at all. I understand exactly what you are. You and all your fellow... Your companion is staring at me very intently. I love her so much. I love our daughter. Look at her. Look how brightly she sparkles. Sarah, blink. You're embarrassing me in front of the Yakuza. That's a very dated word. Also wrong country. You'd really prefer I call you an orca. I prefer you give up and leave. What are you talking? I'm sure they told you I had been softened up. They'd broken me and I'd be ready to sign whatever you put in front of me. Sorry to disappoint you, but the Hound of Icaria doesn't heal. Cool. Oh, that's right. Sarah's seen so many fucking mafia movies at this point that she's like, I'm meeting my hero. Sasuke, I'm going to repeat myself plainly and slowly because you have multiple head injuries. I am not a lawyer. I am your lawyer. Right then. Very good. Thank you for coming. I apologize if I misspoke just now. I misspeak too if I lost as much blood as you. Morgan Esquire, I'll be representing you from here on out. Sosuke of House Icaria. Sarah, paralegal and bartender. You're very young to have 2 jobs. Or 10 bar. Well, it is only part-time. Right. So tell us, Sosuke of House Icaria. What is your routine? You look very fit. What? Are you asking about... Do you not have me on file? Sorry, which firm are you from? DDD? NPM? I'm in private practice. You mean you're not a mob liar? No, but please don't hold it against me. Everyone has to start the path to corruption somewhere. There are serious risks involved in representing a man with my background against charges like these. It's very sweet of you to... They say I killed a cop, miss. I realize I may look a sorry state at the moment, but I've not fallen so low that I'd sully the house's name by dragging a civilian into... Makoto thought differently. The young master? You've seen him? How is he? Where is he? Is he unharmed? He was sitting pretty atop a literal throne surrounded by armed guards last time I checked. Thank you for that. No one's told me anything, and the young master has spoken on this matter, or I won't go against his judgment. But I do hope you understand what you're getting into. I'm already in it, Sosuke. How well I understand what I'm in is something I think you'll be able to help with. Very well. What do you want to know? So far, all know about you was your first and last name. It's a very important last name, but I take your meaning. And in truth, the first thing you should know is that I'm not worthy of it. Why? You're disqualified due to pre-existing conditions? I was born Sosuke Hayakawa, fourth son of a distant branch family. Oh! I guess that does technically qualify as pre-existing condition. Not being born of the family and all that. Only reason I bear the name of Ikaria, because I was adopted into the main house as an infant, in exchange for a lifelong service to the main family. Sounds like a great deal. Lifelong? How did you serve the Ikaria as an infant? There are various tax benefits if you have exactly 2 children. Don't be absurd. I'm what you call a bodyguard. From the time I was able to walk, I was trained to be of service to the house by protecting the heir with my life. From the time you were able to walk, there are a lot of demand for toddler bodyguards. All that's ever been asked of me is I stand in the right place at the right time. You mean like in family photographs? Like in front of a blade. Even a child commands that. The house has given me everything I've ever had and taught me everything I've ever known. What meager service I can offer in return means nothing compared to the debt I owe them. Okay, look. I'm gonna be real. That's kind of just how parents are supposed to work. That's kind of just what parents do to kids, to children, people who did not choose to come into this world. If a parent says, I gave birth to you and I raised you and I put a roof over your head and now you owe me the rest of your life, you say, fuck you. No, the fuck I don't. I was your child. I don't owe you shit. You view your relationship with your family as a transaction? It's not something so cold, girl. It's a matter of loyalty. Alright. So if you were standing before a judge and they asked your name and occupation, you would say, my name is Sosuke Ikaria, and I'm an eternal servant for a living. I would say my name is Sosuke Ikaria. Head of personnel security, Ikaria Group. Doesn't like the opera, or wasabi. Sucks to be you. I want some wasabi now. I work as a head of personnel security for the Ikaria Financial... And what does that entail, exactly? I'm the young master's bodyguard, and I lead all security teams. Nice to properly meet you. Pleased to make your acquaintance. And I'm Sarah, paralegal and bartender, part-time. Yes, I believe you already mentioned that. It seemed like we were all doing it twice. Well, thank you for your paralegal services, Sarah. And here I have the impression you had no sense of humor. What do you mean? It seems in this particular instance, Adonai, it was you who misidentified his proper manners as being glad we've all broken the ice. Makoto told me this all started because you were taken captive yesterday. What happened? It was 2 p.m. Young Master had just finished a meeting with a VIP in Crane Tower, floor 108. 2 p.m.? He wasn't in school? I'll ask that you refrain from mocking the young master in my presence. He is a child, anyone can see that. You have no idea the pressures that have been placed on him. Whatever my client wants. As I was saying, it was just after 2 p.m. Me and the rest of my team escorted him to the elevators along our planned exit route. Our lift stopped suddenly in between floors 61 and 62. That was when I made a mistake. I had a bad feeling. Thought it best to get Makoto to the ground floor ASAP. So I forced the elevator open, crawled out, and pulled him out after me. But just as he got out, the elevator started up again, separating us from the rest of the guard. It was a trap! A 50-50 one. Staying wasn't safe either. If they could stop the elevator, it's not a stretch to think they could drop it, too. He just lost the coin flip when he decided to exit. Yes, sir, it was a trap. Floors 60 to 70 were undergoing heavy retrofitting. Other elevators weren't responding. Comms were jammed. I reviewed the entire building's blueprints beforehand. Not very useful information, obviously, for a floor undergoing renovations. I knew that there was a construction elevator we could get to on the other side of the tower. I had to act fast. There's no time to doubt myself, and I did something unforgivable. You left the kid. I picked him up over my shoulder. Oh, that sounds like fun. I'll forgive me everything the young master does for the sake of his name's dignity, and I... Objection! Objection! That is not demeaning. Throw me over your shoulder. It's fun. Well, we can enjoy it. Maybe it'll be flirting, depending on who you do it with. Kids are tougher than you think. I think you'll get over it. So you escorted him to the service elevator. I can't think that's when things... Yes, I'm sorry, but I only remember a few vague details about what happened next. But I'll tell you what little I can. After I activated the lift, I just realized that he's got a little bit of cleavage showing. Dude, just like, I'm not going to show you full titty, but I will give you a little taste. Two assailants emerged from under a trap doorway at my 7 o'clock. One tall, one thin. Tall was around 190 centimeters, and his weight, I'd say 100 kilograms with the mods. Thin was maybe 175 centimeters, but slouch. Mods well, but what I saw looked stripped down, so he couldn't have been heavier than 70 kilos. Hey, it's Tank and Miller. They have needle guns. Slow to fire and slow to take effect. A memorable choice. Taller one shot first. Jerked his arm when he pulled the trigger. Bad habit usually favored by street slinger punks who are used to compensating for the kickback of jailbroken zippers. Might as well have been aiming at the ceiling. Then lines up his shot properly. Laser sight dialed in on the young master's left trapezoid. I shift into a horse rider stance and deflect the needle with my weapon. The lift doors open behind me just as another shooter steps forward at my 3 o'clock. Or so as I thought, but all they had was a laser pointer. Literally a cheap trick, but it worked. I hear a click from 8 o'clock, turn my neck, and feel a weight punch into my deltoid. Dullish kind of pain for an instant. Realize I'm already going numb. And that's when I squeeze. Squeeze? He's talking about his mods. That's how I've always described it. Others say they flex, or pull, or hold. I squeeze. Akita Type 2, external thoracic booster. Some burst strength and pain killing capabilities, but in short, it's a reflex enhancer. Make 1 second feel like 15, in hindsight. And makes it feel like you ran a marathon during those 15 seconds once the kickback gets you. But I digress. I moved. Got Makoto into the elevator and rinsed the door shut myself, taking 3 more needles to the back in the process. I remember saliva pooling on my lip, and then cold concrete scratching my cheek. Alright, Sosuke. So you're regarding Makoto. These men laid a trap, targeting him with tranks. Failed. Then they take you instead. Yes, to my great shame. You were outnumbered and ambushed, but you still managed to protect Makoto. What's there to be ashamed of? That I didn't see it coming. You're saying this has happened before? Dozens of attempts in the past year. Some headed off in the early stages, some sidestepped entirely, and some stopped with force. I knew their tactics, and I knew our vulnerabilities, and still I failed. Sosuke, that is not incorrect. Hadn't I? Am I wrong? Shouldn't a bodyguard get at least 1 shot off before being taken down? Shot? What do you mean shot? You were not carrying a firearm? No, no one on the team had guns. How's that? None of us on the security team had firearms with us. But you're a gangster. I'm the head of personnel security for the Ikaria Financial Group. Walking onto an allied group's property armed to the teeth and sold to their hospitality makes the house look insecure, or worse, impotent. And I'm not a security expert, but I do think there's some gray area between armed to the teeth and empty-handed. I mean, didn't you just say you deflected their attack? I was not defenseless just because I wasn't carrying a gun. Oh, I had my sword. So lame! So cool! God, I love Sarah so much. Hey, small problem. Remember that sword that we had? that Morgan used to kill Trey? If you walk around town with, what? A samurai sword? You just assume that it's a katana? Is it? Yes. Okay, first of all, she accidentally kind of let slip a little bit too much knowledge, but also, nice, that's fine. As a signifier of my position within the house, and shows that I am acting as a representative of it. It is ceremonial then. No, it's quite sharp. I can attest to that. Though it's probably in terrible condition by now, seeing how this city's police manhandle everything else they touch. And also the way that, Morgan here used it to chop through a throat a few times. Speaking of which, Perhaps we move on to the night's main events. They tried for Makoto, got you instead, and took you to the lower wards. Why? I've been wondering that myself. Aren't you essentially worthless? As a hostage, she means. I know that. Thinking back, I was surprised myself to wake up at all, let alone in captivity. But it seems they had questions they wanted to ask me. What do you remember? Whatever they used on me, I can remember some things, but how much of it was real, what order it happened in, it's all... Just say whatever comes to mind. It can be anything. Sights, smells, voices. There are no wrong answers. I was bound, my wrist bound above my head, tied to something that smelled like iron and rattled like old iron. Tiles beneath my feet, some kind of bathroom or decontamination area. Good gas. They asked me questions. I said things. Loose lips, like being drunk for the first time again. I'm confident that other than vulgarities, it was all incoherent. Because there were shocks, the taste of blood. Must have bit my tongue during the spasms. And there were beatings, of course. I wouldn't have gassed. Adonai, do you need corrective lenses? Sarcasm is just how I grieve a lost opportunity, Sarah. Lost opportunity? Yeah, it's a damn shame. From what I can see of it, a pretty face like yours would go a long way with the jury if it wasn't pulverized. Ridiculous. Is he blushing? I agree about his face, Adonai, but I don't believe it's only his strong feet. Let's move on. Really? Well, in that case, how did your captivity end? Do you recall escaping? I was blindfolded the entire time, but my ears weren't boxed so bad. There's a door that squeaked and whined, so I always knew when someone was coming or going. One voice asked questions, mostly. It was light. Another voice grunted when he hit me, Evie. Other voices came and went, and then eventually there was talk. Through the door, I heard they were all talking to someone else. A new voice? Was it high-pitched or low? Loud or soft? It doesn't matter. What's important is that it belonged to someone new. Someone besides you and the dead who was there last night. Did you make out any part of their conversation? Moment of truth! Moment of truth! No, not a word. But there was a loud noise, gunshots, followed by shouting and ugly sounds. And then, a hollow pain in my skull as I lost consciousness again. When I came to, I had something in my hand. In my hands. Something sharp. Didn't even think to ask what it was or where it came from. I just started working at the bindings. Rushed and clumsy. Poked myself in the process. But I cut them loose and took the gag out. The blindfold was so tight I cut it rather than try and... Damn thing must have been acting as a bandage, because when I took it off, between the light and the pain, I thought that my head had been split open. It took me a long time to stand up. Like I could lie on that cold, disgusting floor forever if I just... Something was poking me. Something tucked into my waistband. The gun. A gun. Imagine my surprise. Checked the safety of the chamber, reflexively, but only saw 2 spent slugs. I was too tired to be confused, so I walked out that squeaky door and into red. And thus you came upon a hell of a crime scene. Just red. Then I was blinking at an IV, handcuffed to a stretcher in an ambulance, some cop reading me my rights, saying that I killed 5 people. No, wait, some judge or official said that later. When I woke up in the ambulance, all they said was that I was a cop killer. Omitting some strong language. I don't understand. You were held captive, interrogated, tortured, then you woke up armed and were able to escape? Cops didn't ask me any questions, and I wouldn't have answered if they had. It's been nearly a full day, and I'm just now saying it aloud for the first time. It truly sounds absurd. This is your world, Sosuke, not mine. She says, lying through her goddamn teeth. Do you have any theories on what happened? Only 2 possibilities come to mind. In the first scenario, one or more of my captors wanted to kill me, but needed an excuse to do so. So they let me escape. They gave me a knife and an unloaded gun, then wait for me to stumble out so they can mist me and be done with it. But the plan doesn't work. Somehow, I limp out of that room and shoot, cut, stab, kill them all. That would be quite the feat, given the condition you say you were in. It's a tale for the ages. But it's not possible. Why isn't it possible? Even if he had the motive, and they were stupid enough to give him the opportunity, he was still lacking... And the first one wanted to kill me but needed an excuse. Gave me a knife and an unloaded gun. Oh yeah, unloaded gun. He doesn't have bullets. In the brief I read, 2 of the pods were shot to death. I'm sure you're highly qualified, Sosuke, but I doubt you can fire a gun without bullets. No, I cannot. As I said, the gun I woke up with had already fired both its shots. So if we tell the police that the gun wasn't loaded, would that clear Sosuke's name for 2 of the murders? There's no proof. The gun was already empty by the time you got his hands on it. She's right. That gun was some kind of jailbroken mag rail. Only residue it leave behind is static. As long as my prints are on it, that's all the evidence they need to claim I fired it. How about the second possibility, then? The second possibility is that someone walked into the building, killed my captors, and then tried to frame me for it. Well, I mean, now that you say it out loud, that does seem rather crazy, doesn't it? Ha 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 ha, stares at Morgan. That sounds like lunacy. We've already eliminated the other possibility. Insane trumps impossible. Like it or not, this bad Samaritan theory is our best shot. What is it? I'm just surprised you believe me. You haven't even asked if I did it. I never ask. It helps that I can usually tell. It also helps when I already know that I'm the one who did it. Except for that number 5. We don't know anything about number 5, but we do know the first 4. A wise policy for the world you're setting foot into. Not as if it makes any difference here. Even I don't know if I'm guilty. You were drugged and beaten. You're still injured, even now. And we just reasoned that you couldn't have killed your captors without help. What makes you think you might still be guilty? Because I've killed before. A pale spark flickers at the back of my mind. My index finger rises slightly and my lips part. Was I expecting this, stepping into the criminal underworld? Looking forward to it? This rare opportunity to speak frankly with someone else who's... You mean... Yes. I was in the military. Okay. I've taken lives, many times. That doesn't make you a murderer. Soldiers are given orders, not an excuse. Straight up after World War II? Following orders is not an excuse. I've killed people. Whether or not Superior asked me to doesn't change that fact. But soldiers, are you a soldier, Sarah? No? So drop it. He is good at following orders. Take years to acquire that skill. I imagine it comes easy for androids. Yes, I suppose that... Wait, that's an android? Did you miss the glowing barcode? And ignore my self-introduction? Look, I'm tired. I thought those were highlights or something. They do kind of look like highlights. My hair catch your eye? You have discerning taste. You see, each strand is actually... Was there something you wanted to say, Sosuke? I've taken lives before, so I know how I feel afterwards. Then. And how do you feel right now? Right now, I feel... What is it? You remember something? Yes. After I stepped out that door, I said I saw red. I do remember one other sensation. I remember the feeling of gripping my sword. The brief you read listed all the charges, all the cause of death. The 5th man, the cop they say I killed. How did he die? That's a very good question. We don't fucking know. You were shot. You were stabbed through the back with a sword. Skewered like a piece of goddamn meat. And you got the balls to ask us to carry him to a hospital? I don't think that's quite how I phrased the request. I've been paying close attention. Would you like me to play back what you said? Not right now, Sparky. Rhea, she's just doing her job. It's not like she's asking... Oh, save the lecture, gray hair! Hi, Detective London. I'm so sorry for you. Come on, my hair isn't... It's gray ink, maybe. In case I haven't made it clear, I've never liked you, Morgan. Oh, you're breaking my... I hadn't noticed. I never took you for a mob lawyer. Whatever my client's associations might be, he's a cop killer! Innocent until proven guilty isn't a phrase I've coined myself, detective. It's actually somewhat important. Oh, don't worry about that. Proving won't take us long at all. Do you always take pride in rushing your investigations? We've all seen the same intake file by now, yes? My client was in bad shape when he was arrested, but his wounds were treated in a medical transport. Okay. Injuries noted at the time. Blood from various sources across the front of the body. Numerous bones in left hand broken, as if from impacting a hard surface. Slight laceration found on left hand. Internal bleeding throughout torso and skull. Bruising and rope burns on both wrists. Numerous bruises on front side of the body. Others blood across the tops of feet and pant legs. Largest wound found on the back of the skull. At the crown of the skull, back of the head. At time of booking, numerous additional injuries were noted, including bruise to the left eye, busted lip, broken nose, boxed left ear, blood trauma to the front right side of the head. When or where these additional injuries were sustained is not noted. Yet somehow, in between arriving at the station and his booking, all his rooms were reopened, and some of them had multiplied. Tell me if you can, great detective, how we ever solve the mystery of the reappearing fractured skull. Klein was being moved between floors. He struggled, trying to escape, and then he fell down the stairs. Really? Was there a lawnmower waiting at the bottom? Look, we're all adults here. So let's just say it, your coworkers kicked the shit out of him. But what do you want me to do about it? I want you to uphold the law. For some reason, I thought you cared about that. A police badge isn't a time machine. By the time we took custody, he was already... She's right, Tiger. What's done is done. You know, you got snowball chance in hell if shooting your client was assaulted while he was in police custody. And you'll never get charges brought against the officers who did it. So try asking for something doable. Don't go giving away all my best tricks. The door in the face tactic is always fragile. It's already fragile. I want him to see a doctor. You gotta be shitting me. That's a blooded KW in there with the military-grade mods. He's not leaving this building. Oh, but we could have a doctor brought here and give him the chance to take a hostage. He's not the 99 man, Reyes. You can't break his cuffs. Don't say 99 man. You don't know what it means. You're too old. Refers to a theoretical state of being in which a human has replaced as much of their body with cybernetic... I wonder if it's a play, The term first appeared in the speculative fanfiction short story Carved Out of Marble, which rose to prominence after the 2072 Paralympics. Both a name and a thought experiment, blah, blah. Officially, the individual who has had their greatest place is an anonymous male adult living in the Eastern Hemisphere who was suffering from a rare and terminal sign of bone cancer. How about a medic who can't be taken hostage? A medical lad? Sure, great. Let's see if we can negotiate his premium lower while we're at it. Is that a refusal, Detective Reyes? I didn't say no, did I? Great! He also needs a protective detail. Lady, I swear, counselor. Protective details are comprised of off-duty cops. I don't think that'll have the outcome you're looking for. No, but if my client is left unattended one more night, he's likely to be declared unfit to stand trial when he shows up to court with his head caved in. An outcome I genuinely believe you're not looking for either. We could keep him here. What, in the interrogation room? Counseling quarter. The table can't be moved, but if you slide the chairs out of the way, the floor's not actually that hard. How do you even know that? Given what other lodgings he's had in the last 24 hours, I don't think your client will mind. So, if Detective Reyes and Detective London take shift keeping watch, you know we're keeping watch? It is the Homicide Department's counseling quarter. You think they'd give a shit what happened to that son of a bitch? You know, I wouldn't walk in there myself and you wouldn't. What? It's not in your nature. What the hell is that supposed to mean? You either have it or you don't. Trust me, if I had a chance to take a swing at that son of a bitch... Yeah, you already called him that. A piece of shit, a bastard, a killer, but like every other cop I walked past to get in here, you've yet to call Sosuke an animal. So what? The hell does that matter? It's the only thing that matters. I've got the outsider's perspective, so I know. Your average human can do anything to anyone, so long as they're not a person. Whatever. Think what you want, creep. Also, you're just straight up admitting to the fact that you would do police brutality on this man. Don't do police brutality on anyone. Stop it. Well, so long as that's your only request. We should be able to... I need to get into the crime scene as soon as possible. You've got to be... What, like tonight? She's not rushing more than anyone else, Sunshine. Everyone up the line's been ready to go on this. Not Sosuke's actually got a lawyer. Well, maybe if that son of a bitch hadn't clammed up all day, we wouldn't... She said it again. Whatever. Pick then, counselor. You can bully us into guard duty or escort duty, but we can't do both. I need both. You'll have to split up. But I can help with that. Or rather, Sarah can. I can? Of course you can. You can go treat Sosuke. I'm not trained in... Oh, I love this bit. She's pretending she doesn't remember being registered as my medical ad. Yes, Would never forget that unforgettable experience. I've never done first aid before. Well, watch tutorial first. Use lots of sanitizer. Just hand her some bandages, and she'll get Sosuke looking good as new in no time. And you can pop her in front of the door, and even 20 cricket cops working together couldn't get her to budge. That much is certainly accurate. I have a strong core, so if I focus mine, lower my center of gravity. Thanks for the sale pitch, but it doesn't mean shit. The crime scene is in the lower wards. If you think, after what happened last night, that any cop with a pulse would go down there without their partner, then it's okay, Sunshine. I'll take her down there. Is there everyone else in here huffing Nirvana? London, it's in Blue Blood territory. Blue Blood territory, outskirts, really. They lost a whole pod. They'll be swarming the place. Can't go down there without backup. Backup, huh? You know Mac from Contraband? Skinny guy? Kind of a perv? Yeah, he's skinny. Look, he's at crime scene analysis sweeps going over that place with a fine comb right about now. Drones, probes, the work. They'll have eyes on us before we get within 5 minutes of the place. Whatever. Just keep in contact for once. I hope you're being generously compensated, Eve. Selling your soul to the mob. It'd be a shame if you didn't at least get a good price. Hey, you coming, Blinkers? Gotta find where they store all the medkits in this dusty old piece of... Go on. I'll be right behind you, Detective. Hi, Biscuit. Sorry about that. She's still new to all this, really. Not old like me. She does seem to be on edge, more so than usual. It's her first time losing a fellow officer. Yeah, that don't make it right, Biscuit. Don't you dare. No. Don't belong back there. Come here. Come here, baby. You're just staring at me. Biscuit, would you like to come solve a murder? Hi, Maya. Oh, well. I'm postured. I think she's taking it pretty hard. Maybe even personally. Do they know each other? Right. You gather up all your things. Oh, Biscuit. No. Come here. Baby boy. You gather up all your things. I'll go bring us up a ride. Great. Thanks for all your help, Detective. You're a lifesaver. Your head is killing you today. Water and rest. Get some rest. And also, let's take ibuprofen together. I had to take some ibuprofen earlier. My head was also being blech. In fact, before stream started, I was kind of like, I don't know how long I'll be able to stream today because I'm kind of really fucking tired. But now we've been going, and I'm like, nope, I feel fine for now. So this is one occasion where I wouldn't have had any trouble finding the place. Come here, Biscuit. Really didn't take me that long to patch him up, huh? A little bit ago and you're eating plenty of salt. Is salt good for a headache? Biscuit. Biscuit, please. Come here to Mama. There we go. I got him. I got Biscuit. He's here. Hi, baby. I forced him. Now we just wait here. All night. The clock runs pretty slow. If you're not doing anything else, Detective, might you be interested in answering some questions? Salt is the opposite of water? Oh. Is salt the opposite of water? Like, I guess technically it is. In some ways, but there's also salt water. Once more into the depths. When I went down to the lower wards last night, I knew what I wanted to find, but I wasn't sure where to look. Now I know where to look, but I have multiple priorities to consider. It'd be nice if I can prove Sosuke's innocence. Won't be easy, given that Vivinki killed a cop, but it'd keep me on the Ikaria's good side. That'd be nice. But what is essential is that I figure out what the hell happened after I left, or whether anyone found any trace that I was ever there. Everything else is second dip. Sorry, guess I should have asked before I decided we'd be sharing a cab. I don't mind. But I am surprised the budget cuts take away your shiny patrol car. Patrol cars are shared, counselor. Any cop can step into any other cop's car, sync their credentials, and drive. Convenient. Shame you can't personalize. Yeah, no more dice in the mirror. Is that why we're in a cab then? Personal taste. Police cars are full of bugs, though you might appreciate the privacy. Auto cabs are full of bugs too. True, but there are ways around them. Are there? I didn't know that. Plenty. It'd be easy as flashing a police badge. Something you wanted to discuss in private, Detective? I was asked to get in contact with you and pass along a message. A secret admirer. Certain interested parties and all that. You know how it is. I'm not sure I do. Does it have something to do with my client's business affiliations? It would be a lot more blustering if I were to repeat it verbatim, so I'll paraphrase. Focus on getting the best outcome for your client. More of a reminder of what my job description is than a warning. And don't broaden the scope of your investigation any more than strictly necessary. Well, I always appreciate kind words of advice, but Detective London, that almost makes it sound like you're on the take. That's the city, Tiger. You don't take a little, they bury you. Alive, if need be. Oh, they will? How conspiratorial. It's not a joke, Morgan. Do they threaten your wife with Tommy guns if you don't comply? It's gotten more sophisticated than that. Well, maybe sophisticated isn't the right word. Complicated could be more accurate. Or you could just call it a quagmire. Or even a shitstorm. Can't get along to go along, even other cops won't trust you. End up shot in the back, friendly fire. A tragic newspaper clipping. You're exaggerating. You're telling me the entire police force is has been for hundreds of years. This ain't anything new. I'm gonna tell you right now. Wait, the police force is corrupt? Always has been. Now, corruption will be one thing. You could, in theory, root it out. But above and below the canopy, it's all intertwined. Every tree stabilizing every other tree. What do they call that? Not parasitism. Commensalism. There you go. The state pays criminal informants to rat on their peers and lets them keep their positions in exchange. Orcas buy judges and politicians to keep their men out of prison. Status quo. Balancing act. A cycle. Stable as any gyroscope. Forgive me if I find that hard to believe. Crime is at an all-time low. That's not a contradiction. People hate crime. What gets people killed is chaos. And the opposite of organized crime is. So everyone's playing nice with each other. Even Detective Reyes, she's... What about the man they think my client killed? Did he play nice? He was a special case. You got the brief. You recognize his last... No, we haven't seen it. It's a big city. I don't put too much stock into last names. No need to break that habit if you continue to work in the underworld. Sosuke said something similar. Tariq Chapman, only son of Miguel and Dominic Chapman. Who? This the dead guy? City councilman? Ooh. Well, that's not great. Senatorial commendation award. The power couple. Why would the son of two of the city's most prominent council members be working as a police officer? You want the full story? Always. So who was this Chopin, really? Chopin? Nope, that is perfectly fine. Don't you worry. Sleep if you need to. The VOD will always exist. Unless YouTube and Twitch both die. In which case, meh. Wrong line of work, then. You're only half right. When he entered the academy, everyone assumed it was a political move. First step in his career to becoming a senator or whatever. Maybe it was, but anyone who met the guy could tell you he would have made a lousy politician. You're saying he was honest. Wasn't still alive, his life depended on it. I couldn't do small talk, much less make friends. Talking about cleaning up the city, cleaning up the police, cleaning up everything. In other words, he probably wasn't very well liked. He was so unpopular, why was he kept on? No one on the force wanted to risk insulting his parents by firing him. Okay, he was definitely killed by the police. Cool. Those got passed around from department to department, detail to detail. A lot of community outreach. Community outreach? What, like bake sales? Like giving talks at school about saying no to drugs until you turn 21. Ugh. Must have really loved his job to put up with that. Or he just wanted to prove a point that bad. Don't you try to save lower ward patrols for the more seasoned, better armed officers? We do, yeah. How'd you know that? By going to the lower wards and looking at the cops you send there, of course. I read about it in a Watch magazine last month. Oh. If Chopin was the son of such powerful men, why'd he end up in the lower wards last night? That, I don't know. You don't know? Well, this counts, he and his partner should have been at least 2 patrols removed from that area. Must have been following up on some other lead. His partner? Who's that? The hero who finally arrested the Hound of Icaria. That's you. Okay, raise your hand if you think the partner killed the cop, because that's my thought. I'll have to send him a congratulatory fruit basket. Huey Rogers. Pretty bare-bones record, but maybe that'll just add to his legend. What legend? Taking your client alive. Whacked him on the head with his sidearm, knocked him out cold. Guess it is a small miracle that Sosuke wasn't just shot dead if they thought he killed a cop. Maybe, but it wasn't pure luck. Only thing that did stick out to me on Rogers' record was his shooting score. 41. Out of 100. You need 40 to pass. I think someone took pity on him when tallying up his score. So he only whacked Sosuke on the head, and because he was too bad of a shot to avenge his partner? At least Rogers knows his weaknesses. I keep hearing that name, the Hound of Icaria. I cringe every time. No one actually calls him that, right? Sorry, but I've definitely heard that name circulating around organized crime before. Must be one hell of a bodyguard to have earned a nickname for it. He's a bodyguard? And yeah, must be pretty good. Of course, hound dogs are known for other things besides guarding. Sorry, that was rude. Oh, don't be sorry. Less than half to pass your shooting score? Sounds like cops to me. Honestly, I'm surprised it's not lower. Not even good enough of the joke to be offended. Okay, that all makes for some interesting food for thought. But, Detective London, if you are working for the Blue Bloods, I never said I work for the Blue Bloods. It's more of a gig worker type thing, Tiger. I'm friends with everybody. If you were working for the mob in general, then how do I know you're even taking me to the right place and not to... Whoa. I may pass some message along here and there, but I'm not... Damn. Oh, no one else is either. Whatever you're imagining, it's not that exciting, I promise. Not that exciting. Sounds about right. It's like this in every city. Handshakes and gentlemen's agreements behind closed doors. You disillusioned? The state has a great deal of power, Detective London. It makes countless rules. Now, I'm a big girl. I know that those rules don't apply to people equally. And I understand the value of criminal informants and the possible conflicts of interest that arise in trying to keep them around. What I don't get is why the state has all this strength, and it won't use it to just wipe the underworld off the map. That's pretty cold logic. I expect my state to be far colder. Now, you ever heard this one? A politician, a CEO, and a mob boss are sitting at a round table with a gun in the middle. Who are you betting on? Honestly, a CEO looks at a loaded gun and sees the bullets in the clip as inventory that needs moving. Plus, they're used to taking a job and setting up their golden parachute before anything else. I doubt they'd walk into that room without first planning how they're getting out of it. Fair enough. CEOs only get the job in the first place by convincing their board they can navigate high stakes. It's a trick question, of course. Rock, paper, scissors has no trump card. The politician can bring the heavy arm of the law down on the mob boss if he doesn't shoot the CEO for him. The mob boss can have the CEO's family killed if he doesn't blow away the politician first. And the CEO can turbocharge the campaign of whoever the politician's opponent is if he refuses to miss the mob boss. Yeah, seems like you could make the argument to go in the other direction, too. You could. So the point the riddle's meant to teach is this. Whoever convinces someone else to pull the trigger comes out on top. Funny. So in the parable you set up, the gun on the table, that's the police? A blameless tool with no will of its own? Yep. Though it was older men than I who set it up. Didn't realize this country's police were so powerless. I did. It's been that way for hundreds of years. However, do you manage? Well, we used to have a partner that helped us out, a tiebreaker. Because all 3 of those powerful men would be screwed if a journalist told the world they were meeting together. I'll be real with you. That's basically happening now. Nah. I've got good news for you, detective. Journalists still exist. I can introduce you to one. You can even take a photograph. Oh, I know they're not extinct. People aren't always right. Because no one wants to pay them to. Sorry, didn't mean to talk so much. Maybe it's nerves coming back down here. What happened the last time you visited? Something up? And put you to sleep, didn't I? No. Actually, Your three-seat table reminded me of an even older thought experiment. If God is omnipotent, why does he allow the existence of the devil? Title drop! I think, is that when did we finally get a title drop? Did we never hear the words of the devil in the prologue and in episode 1? We finally got it? It's here? Even I know that one. To preserve free will or whatever, right? Yeah, that's the answer most people give. But now I'm wondering if this isn't a rock, paper, scissors deadlock, like the one you just described. God lets the devil be, so he'll terrify man. And man will always need God's warm protection. And God needs man's faith, which can't be compelled. Of course, most people would also say that God's long dead in the 21st century, but we're still around. So that leaves the devil in an awfully strong position, doesn't it? You always picture 3 men in that room, don't you? Huh? Yeah, I guess I do. Do 55 feminist rosaries for your penance. Stupid. Stupid. Okay. I think that right here, at the scene of the crime where it all started, once we get to a nice spot, or just right here. Okay, I think we're gonna call it right here. I think this is a good stopping point. And we'll be back on, we should theoretically be back on Thursday. Sorry, I'm looking at something. For more of the devil. And with, of course, Saturday being Kingdom Hearts. And we'll just see what happens on Sunday. I think that's, but yeah. This whole episode, the first couple hours of this episode are fucking intense. Holy shit. They said episode 2, we're fucking going off, we're going fucking 90 miles an hour with this one. You're going fast. But I'm very excited. It's very good so far. But yeah, that's all I have for today. We'll be back later this week. You all have a great rest of your day. Get some food, get some water, get some rest. I am telling that to you, Maya, specifically, as well as myself. Biscuit, what you doing? Hi, baby. I'm not looking forward to having to pay for a new car, but I am not excited to get a new car later this week. It'll also probably bump up my car insurance price, but Biscuit boy. But that is neither here nor there for now. That's basically what's going on in my life. That's it. That's all. End of the day. Have a great rest of your night. Farewell. You're doing your best. Getting the shower now. Yes, a nice hot shower. And then, actually, you know what? Take a hot shower, dry off and all that, and then go and then try to nap afterwards. I bet it'll feel great. All right, goodbye. I'll see you all later. I love you. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Biscuit says bye. He doesn't know you, but he says bye.